Okay, hi everyone. Most likely, the point of this live stream is just a little review into the comments from today's video. Well, yesterday's video, because I talked about Anna a little bit. And there's a bunch of interesting stuff that's been said. There's a bunch of things I kind of want to talk about. So I'm going to be doing that in this video. Now, I'm not sure if the stream is live or not, because it should be live. You guys will excuse me for just one moment. I think we are live. I'm not entirely sure since I go to the live right now. We are live. It says we are live. Just open this up. Because now I can talk. Okay, hi. Welcome to a very early stream. Since I've never streamed at this hour. Well, I have, but it's like difficult to do nowadays. But the major point of this stream is I will now be talking about the different comments. I couldn't care less. How are you? I don't know. Is the live stream? Is everything fine? Is the audio working? I think game audio is off. Hold on a minute here. Okay. Usually, we got this up and running. So we're gonna have the mirror watch in the background. So usually, I would leave this type of stuff to the comments. Like I would just discuss this in the comments, but they've gotten overwhelming and out of hand because I genuinely have attracted a completely new crowd. And I feel like this is something that it needs a little bit more time to discuss. And it's kind of what's the point of this live stream. And then most likely I'll do another one later tonight where we'll just enjoy some Overwatch. Hi, how are you? So I'm going to open up that Ana video, right? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Just going to ignore the background noise if you guys hear anything. I have some family over, but I'm available for this live stream. Because it just felt like there's some stuff that's being said that extremely unnecessary, right? And that's kind of what I want to talk about over here. Hi Griffin, I don't know if you've seen the new video. I don't know if you've even seen the overwhelmingly interesting comments that were dropped. I don't know if you commented on that video yet or not. It's certainly a very interesting side of the community that I ended up on. But there's some extremely silly takes, delusional takes, in my opinion, to say certain things like that people are saying. It's fine, Griffin. Don't worry about it. I wasn't planning to do a stream like this, but there's people spreading false narratives about me. I genuinely thought I would never reach a point where people would outright lie about me or the things I say, because I'm like a really small content creator. But when you see people like legitimately like lying about you, there's a part of you that starts to get really upset, and that's crazy, right? No, Techno Bunny. They like I've talked to people on different comments before. If you go back in any video, I've never had to sit down to address silliness, but most of it I'm addressing as well is like the people making shit up. That's just not right. I've discussed with people on many videos, like legitimately many videos, where we've discussed things about Ursa, Iliari, we've discussed things about the healing creep, power creep. I've just kept it to the comments, but now it's actually getting a little bit out of hand. It's getting a little bit out of hand. Some of the stuff that's being said is a bit much. And besides, I'm bored. I have nothing to do. I got some hours free. So I mean, if you want to watch the content, feel free. If you don't, well, it is what it is. But my channel is mostly about discussions and shit. But it's about discussing things within a fair ground without making like lies about people and saying shit, because there's some lies over there, VOS, welcome to the channel, my guy. Thank you for the subscription. So let's start. Like, we're going to be addressing some of the comments, and then later today we'll have a video coming up about my honest thoughts about season 10, right? And a lot of people in those comment sections are being very pushy that I reply. That's the thing. They're like, oh, you gotta, like, Abby's not saying anything to this comment. Abby's not saying to that comment. Like, dude, I only have so much free time in between doing a master's degree and a job to reply to so many comments. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it in this like live stream format, right? Let's do it in a live stream format because like it'll be a little bit more interesting and I can get live feedback if you guys want to say something. And let's talk about the state of Ana, because this is pretty much, we're talking about the state of Ana and people completely missing the point about, you know, what I was trying to say. Max Royale, is the game in an enjoyable state? Yeah, it's definitely okay. There's outliers that don't need to be outliers, and that's the point of the video that I made, you know? Or nerf support. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That's like, why do you think I made a video talking about that Ana needs to rebuff? Because this balance team has clearly shown that they do not want to nerf the support role, and that's kind of the philosophy that they've always centered themselves around. And that's why I made that video talking about Ana, that, okay, if we're going to power creep the game again, because they legit cannot help themselves, right? They cannot help themselves. So if we're going to power creep the game, then okay, fine, sure. Let's do it in a fair and reasonable perspective to bringing everybody in line, right? If you're going to do all of this, why is she exempt? You know? And I talk about this for any hero. I got a Symmetra one coming up. You know, I got a Symmetra video coming up. I'm going to be talking about Symmetra next, you know, and then Junkrat as well. I know people have been saying things like, Abby, you don't talk about Sim or Junk. Don't worry, guys. I'm just trying to get the relevant footage to basically talk about Sim and Junk. Because again, you get people that don't understand the point. You know, they don't understand the point, and that's exactly why where we are today. Is that on a video, people completely glossed over the point that I made. It's actually hilarious how I couldn't have been more clear about where Ana needs power. And how, like 90% of the comments were like, yeah, but anti-nade and sleep make the life of a tank or other players living hell. At no point in that video did I ever basically say to buff the anti part or to buff the sleep part of Ana's kit. I legit said, let's buff up the gun by 5 or 10 or 15 damage and go from there. The fact that people took that as as a major buff or something, that's insane. That's unbelievably insane. That's what like really ticked me off. It was like, how did people miss it? Like, I even said in the video that I feel like I'm repeating myself because I didn't want to buff Ana too much because I understand Ana can become too much in 5v5. So I just said, okay, let's just like help her with the breakpoint because she's struggling against the breakpoints a lot, right? They're struggling against the breakpoints a lot. Ana especially, like, at the end of the day, comparatively, no matter what you want to say, Ana is by far the hardest support to play, right? Outside of maybe, I guess, like playing Lucio at a really high level, Ana can be very difficult to play. So there should never be a case and scenario where Kiriko, Life Weaver, and Moira, 3 characters that are fundamentally easier to play, are in much better spots than Ana. You know? And Psionic, you're absolutely right. They're not going to nerf support. So that's exactly why I'm making videos asking to bring in supports to the power level that they're now setting, because Ana's not at that power level. Dude, I've been getting Anas on my teams that I agree. Like, I've been saying to a lot of Ana players, like, you're throwing, please get off Ana, go Moira. Like, we have reached a point in the game where I have to tell an Ana player, you're throwing, pick Moira. This is the state that we are in. Imagine that. Stop playing the high skill, low reward hero. Play the low skill, high reward hero. Imagine. I have some tea with me as well. Excuse me. Like, this is my limited free time. I want to talk to you guys. So guys, I'm going to be bringing up that video. We're going to ignore the extremely silly comments and we're going to address some of the comments where people were like, well, Abby's not going to respond to this because you made a good argument. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to do my best to remain reasonable and respectful, but if the comment exits this boundary, then like that person better be ready for the flaming. Like it is what it is. Like I don't endorse that shit, but if you're going to start, I'm going to finish it. That's just how it is, you know? I think at this point, they're going to release a flanker support. I mean, technically, that's Kiriko, so to a limited extent, and Moira as well. Imagine support has to be balanced this way with good D rank. So, yeah, exactly, because they don't, like, John, you get the point. You get the point. It's those players that are crying in my new video. As much as I don't want to say it like that, it is true. Hot take, Ana is no longer main healer? Exactly. She is an off healer now. With the new breakpoints and everything, that's a bad thing. That's not good. She's not designed to be an off healer, because an off healer excels at other things too, right? So again, if I show you guys the hero list, if we look at the support list right now, right? Ideally, Ana is a main healer, Bap is a main healer, Brig is somewhat of an off healer, Iliari is also an off healer, Kiriko is a main healer, Lifeweaver is a main healer, Lucio is an off healer, Mercy is an off healer, Murray is a main healer, and Zen is an off healer. Again, I don't want to use main and off support terminologies here because it really confuses people in Plat. And in just the metal ranks and below, because people don't get the difference between main and flex support or main and off support. So we're just going to talk about, like, you know, a character that can do more healing and a character that can do low healing, right? Like from that POV. I always have to say this because, again, a lot of people don't know the differences between these four sub roles, I guess you could say. But we're going to start talking about that, right? So remember, the next support is also highly mobile with character. Yeah, I know. Like, I will not be, like, I genuinely believe every character will have mobility, because there is a mobility creep in the game, and Spylo covered that really well. So let's not waste any time and dig into the comments, right? So this is the video over here. This is the comment section in this video over here. Again, let me just make sure that, you know, everything is appropriate and things like that. If there's you know, some stuff that we can avoid, let's avoid it. Because you know how YouTube gets if you show something that shouldn't be shown. It's going to be a nightmare for me to handle behind the scenes. But yeah, I'm just like, again, I'm just like triple checking everything, because like once I swap screens, it's basically GG's for me, right? So I got to make sure everything is okay. Okay, we're going to be swapping screens in just a moment. Delete Venture. I mean, Venture's okay. They're a bit okay. All right, so we're gonna be doing a screen capture now. I'll be showing the YouTube screen. Can you guys confirm with me if you can see the YouTube screen? You can see the YouTube screen now, right? With the comments and everything. Can anybody in chat quickly confirm, is the YouTube screen up? Because on my screen it's up. Thank you, Griffin. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's not waste any time, right? So this is my original take. Like, the video is me basically talking about why Ana is bad, why the other supports are good, how we have transitioned into the current state of the game of 250 HP and DPS passive, and why Ana is bad, right? So if anybody's watched this video, you already know. So I will already talk about it in a while, but this is what I originally said. So I said, what do you guys think about the state of Ana? I'm going to be very realistic and hot takey here, but I think she's one of the weaker supports in the game right now. And I find myself saying and feeling like a lot that she's unironically a throw pick now in the current state of the game. In the current state of the game, you want your supports to be slippery and not easy targets. You want them to have at least somewhat low cooldowns and high uptime in terms of how they're performing. And Ana doesn't do any of that right now, right? So I just said to start, let's just buff her sniper rifle, right? So a lot of people, even in the video, basically talked about it from this POV. Let's just buff the sniper rifle. Okay, didn't say anything about Nade and Sleep, and all I got were comments about Nade and Sleep, which is ridiculous, right? It's a little bit ridiculous. Thanks, everybody. I saw. Thank you. So, right? So here's let's start talking about it, right? We have some comments over here. So, In a Day of Glory basically said, like, and again, we gotta download this stuff because this is ridiculous. It's gonna start with this one over here. In a Day of Glory says that it's absolutely insane. How could you think of Ana buffs? Not the Hanzo, Junk, Iliari, Reaper, etc. Okay, so apparently I've never said anything about Hanzo, Junk, Iliari, and Reaper. Mr. In a Day of Glory, click here, click this, okay, click this, whoa, whoops, click this part, go to the DPS stuff is on the end, okay, and all the heroes that you mentioned, they're in this spot here. And despite me putting Junkrat in niche good, I still said that he needed buff. So all these claims, Hanzo, Junk, Iliari, Reaper, they were down here. They were in areas that needed help. So already wrong about this, and you already know this person doesn't watch the channel. Okay, this person doesn't watch the channel, so you guys already know how it is, right? It is what it is. So they go on to say that the hero was meta or strong for 8 years. Okay, so apparently Ana was meta for 8 years. Okay, guys. Who was the meta supports in GOATs? Because Ana was apparently meta for 8 years, right? Who were the meta supports in Double Shield? Who were the meta supports in Junker Queen Goats? Who were the meta supports in the Mauga meta? Who was the meta supports? Like, do you see the pattern here? Very, like, it never revolved around Ana. Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't revolve around Ana. It's disingenuous to say something like, hero was meta or strong. Of course, her being strong is correct. Meta, no, not necessarily, right? To say something like, okay, well, I don't want her to be good because she was strong for 8 years, but that's, with all due respect, right? That's stupid because the hero is a mechanically intensive hero. It's a mechanically intensive hero. When you compare it to Life Weaver, Kiriko, and all the other main supports, the main healers, Ana is the one that needs the most skill output in relative comparison to the rest of them, right? Thank you, couldn't care less. Bap, Brig, Lucio, Zen. In none of these compositions was Ana ever meta, right? There were very, very few instances that anything outside of Bap, Brig, Lucio, Zen, Ana ever got played. Because Baptiste was doing what Ana was doing, but better, more consistent in every single way, shape, and form. Because anti at that level of gameplay became irrelevant. You didn't care about anti-need. You cared more about drawing out team fights. Yeah, no, don't worry. Like, Helpy, when we say things like we want Reaper and Junkrat to get a buff, it doesn't mean we want them to be broken. The same thing I'm saying for Ana. It's not like I want her to be broken. I want them to be decent, right? Like Reaper especially. Reaper's the most cosmetic character in the game right now. You pick Reaper to tank burst when there's like 5 characters who can tank burst better than Reaper. And albeit one of them is even easier to play than Reaper, in my personal argument. So what's the, like, you see what I'm saying with this, right? So let's go on. So he says, people in majority of ranks still playing her good with her giga busted buttons, targeted ult, and Mauga hitbox heal across the map. These are all just fundamentally wrong. Any, like, people that are playing Ana are genuinely losing rank right now. I've been coaching a lot of different support players, and in the little group that I'm with, a majority of them have basically all come out, and that's why I made that Ana video to begin with, because we were all in major agreement that Ana is completely garbage. Okay? Damn, just why Ana have the support order got more huge problems. But nobody's discounting the other support problems. I've covered it a bazillion times on my channel. If we just go here and we click on my videos and we just write like support or something, excuse me. If I just write support over here, you will see that I've talked about a lot of the broken supports in multiple videos. I talked about Moira. I talked about Iliari and Bap needing nerfs way back when. Okay, I already talked about problems about Life Weaver when he was coming out, which I didn't like, and some of them did come true. I talked about supports in a lot of videos. You guys know this channel. We've talked about, especially in this one over here, the Overwatch balance team is lost. We talked about a bunch of support in here too, right? And even when I talked about that Moira needed nerfs, we talked about it, right? So it's not like, oh, he doesn't talk about other things. This is somebody who doesn't watch my channel. And even if they do, how did you miss any of the things that I was talking about? Because you would know that I'm extremely fair and that I talk about these things. So to come out and say something like, oh, well, why are you talking about Ana and nothing else? Like, I have talked about everything else. I talk about everything else even in the tier list videos. It's completely silly to say things like this, right? The game is a lot more about denying than making a good play with anti or sleep. Exactly. I can't believe that Ana needing buffs is a controversial opinion. Dude, MooneyPie, I got all the TikTokers apparently in this comment section now. But let's go on to read. Nade is not a skill shot. Heal with hitbox is not a heal shot. Sleep Valentine is not a skill. She has a targeted ult. Like, damn, Iliari has half of a roster to counter ult, and you can nade Zen ult, you can screw Lucio ult. A lot of non-support characters can fail their ults, but not Ana. Complete best heal, but I have 200 hours on. Dude, first of all, if this was bait, this is really good bait. But if this isn't bait, like, this is really, really silly to say. Because you do not play Ana heal bot playstyle at higher level of play. You don't play Ana like that at higher levels of play. If you play heal bot Ana, you're basically losing. You're basically losing. Everybody knows this, right? Another person says, so Sandler, this guy was a lot more reasonable. So, you know, shout out Sandler for being a little bit more reasonable. I don't know why on PC I cannot read all the comments. So guys, you can see like these like dots, and for some reason I can't expand it, so bear with me. Sandler says that this is forcing her into a meta where she, oh my god, man, what is happening with all the bugs today? Hold on a minute, guys. Okay, this is forcing her into a meta where she doesn't belong. She already becoming an extreme. She sucks in this meta, but diving her feels worse than diving Moira right now. Like, Moira at least has low burst if you evade the orb. But Ana lands that anti on you and her 7 is GG. She nukes half your HP and fully heals herself while making whatever other support heal her. Okay, so here's the thing, right? I had to drink the coffee for this one. The tea, sorry. The thing is I'm going to have to view this from the objective POV that you are playing at a lower level of play where you guys cannot force Ana to use a nade, right? You guys are not forcing Ana to use the nade or understand how to draw Ana's nade out. There's multiple ways to do this on multiple characters, even including the tank role. Tank is in a really powerful spot right now. Now, are there tanks that are in a bad spot? Of course. But to sit there and say something like, no, Roadhog, Mauga, and Orisa especially are not dominating games and completely making the games about themselves is extremely disingenuous, because they are. And that's kind of why everybody fundamentally agrees at higher levels of play right now. All the other streamers and everybody are basically saying like, dude, Mauga, Orisa, and Roadhog need to get tuned down. Because the other tanks are a lot more fairer than those guys. But again, this video is not about tanks. This video is about the Ana comments, right? We got some comments here in the chat. Let me read and catch up. Ana feels so bad, but I cannot understand the skill. Like, do you mean skill by aiming? Yeah, that's what he was talking about. That's what he's talking about. But there's circumstances where, like, at the end of the day, like, your teammates may compromise themselves, and it does become a little bit more difficult to play Ana. Again, comparatively to other supports, not comparing them to DPS hit scan or the tank role. Ana, comparatively to other supports, is the high skill ceiling character on that role, at least in my opinion. Outside of, again, Lucio, right? We'll just drink some water over here. As a gold Ana main, if a Moira dives me, I miss my sleep there. I can do nothing while watching Moira slowly sucking me to death. Exactly. That's exactly the point. Like, you get punished on Ana, but if you dive a Moira just runs away. And then if Moira has line of sight on sucking you off, she gets HP for it too. Ana can't do that. If Ana uses nade on herself and it misses the other target, it's GG's for that Ana regardless. But that's because these guys are playing like different levels of gameplay, right? So anyways, I'm also going to show you guys something really interesting, since apparently Ana has been hard meta, right? Anyways, so somebody said she needs some help but not on heals, maybe reworking. So I just don't agree with this, and this isn't how you do things, so I'm just going to ignore it. Okay? So KP Pie has basically said, there are worse characters. The game is never good when Ana is powerful. Okay. When has Ana been powerful? When? She was powerful once in Season 5, if I'm not mistaken. And that was because of her being a byproduct that fit the meta more than it was because Ana was good. Ana being good forces Kiri, but Kiri is being forced everywhere regardless. Because Kiri is just the best support in the game. By far, and it's not even close, because she's overkitted. So Ana being good or not doesn't... Okay, you know what? Let's prove KP Pie wrong. Because he's not going to believe me, right? Because that's what he's going to think. Like, no, apparently Ana is the be-all, end-all. So, if Ana is the be-all, end-all, explain this. We're going to turn the screen off. We're going to bring up the game. All right? I want you guys to look at this with me. We're going to go competitive. Okay, we're going to go leaderboard. So, Ana is the best support. And she's always, you know, apparently she's the top dog. Right? They're disconnected from how the game is played. I know. Watch this, right? Watch this. This is support in EU in Season 1. Okay? Look at the, like, again, if we're just looking at top 10, okay, we'll look at top 20 on each side to be a little bit, like, more fair in things, right? Look at the distribution of Ana, and this is more ML7 forcing the Ana to work, right? There's more Kiriko and BAP in this list than there is Ana, right? And Ana became like a secondary for people. On another page, look at this. Kiriko and Lucio have fully taken over. So, Ana wasn't hard meta in Season 1. It was Kiriko and Lucio. Okay, let's move on in Season 2. Actually, you know what? Let's go back to Season 1 and let's look at it from America POV, right? Kiriko and Lucio majority. Kiriko and Lucio majority, right? Kiriko, Lucio, and your local Mercy One Tricks making it. Again, Season 1. Kiriko, Lucio everywhere. So who's meta right now? Kiriko, Lucio. Excellent. Let's go. You guys already know what's happening on the Korean side of things. There it is. You got a bunch of Kiriko. You've got a one-trick Kiriko up here. You got a little bit of Ana, two Ana, but Lucio everywhere. page 2, and you have Lucio, a lot of Lucio, and then a bit of Kiriko with very little Ana as the go-to pick, right? So again, the distribution is very Kiriko Lucio, right? And this pattern will continue. Now let's go to season 2. Look at that distribution. Zen took over the game. By the way, this is when supports were quote-unquote bad, okay? Lucio's still really good. Ana sees a bit of play here and there in the top 20, okay? Go back to EU, same shit. We got lots of Kiriko, lots of, again, mobility is king, right? All the slippery supports are, look at this, Kiriko has a full page. Kiriko has a full page. But apparently Ana is meta. Ana is meta and Ana is too strong. Do you guys see this? Do you guys see this, right? It's so disingenuous to say things like, well, Ana has been meta for 8 years. But when though? Ana being strong on ladder is because like people love to play Ana because she's fun to play. Because she's rewarding to play. Because you hit your shots and you're rewarded for it. Now that's not the case. You hit your shots and you need to hit 3 more before you get rewarded for it. And in that much time, in that much like time that it takes to hit those next 3 shots, Ana gets screwed over because of the DPS passive. You guys get what I'm trying to say, right? Season 2 makes sense because Hog was meta. Isn't season 2 where Junker Queen Goats also took over? Like it was Junker Queen Goats and then we went into the Hog meta, right? She was loved in Overwatch 1, the community perception changed in Overwatch 2. Yeah, because you brought in all the Moira players and all those guys cannot comprehend playing something that isn't just hold left click and win the game. Like, I'm really sorry to say this, but a lot of the people that ever complain about Ana, their hero pool in support is just Moira. That's all they know how to play. I hate saying it like this, but that is the harsh truth, because if you understood skill to reward curves, Ana is one of the characters that should never be bad. It's like basically saying like, well, Widowmaker is bad in gold, so we need to give her an aimbot. Why though? You should be rewarded on Widowmaker for landing those headshots, for being good at her, for being good with the aim. It's like creating a character who can like aimbot and headshot people, you know? Ana is but exactly. They've never played. Let us go to season 3. I'm gonna try and speed this up, right? Oh, it's Kiriko, Lucio, and Zen. Wait, there's barely Ana. Where's how Baptiste comes in? Moira's there. Where's Ana? Let's go. Did Asia play a lot of Ana? And a little bit of Ana here and there. A little bit of Ana here and there. Okay, America. Oh, it's Kiriko. It's a bit of okay. And season 3 was a little bit healthy. On season 3, Ana saw a little bit more playtime. Okay, I believe season 3. Like, what was the meta back then? Like we were a little bit more like Brawl, right? Like it was Ramatra Brawl, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So like Ram did get like a lot of the nanos, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right? So season 4 and 5 is definitely where Ana came in. So this is where I give credit where it's due, right? Season 4 and season 5, because I remember, because I played Ana a lot. This is where Ana came alive a lot more. Again, because of being a byproduct of the meta, not because she dictated the meta, right? That was the America side of things. In EU, and I believe even in Korea, they were forcing the Kiriko Lucio dive or Brawl comms a little bit more, right? So it's a bit of variety now. And now in Asia, Asia loves their Ana dive comp, man. Like they will force Ana dive as much as they can, right? So they like definitely they were playing the Ana dive with the Ana Brawl. Season 5, I'm sure Ana is more, because even I was playing a lot in season 5. Because I believe in season 5, Ana Brig was the go-to support line, right? So Ana Brig became a little bit more alive. And Ana loves having a brick, right? But Ana and Brick both are bad. That's why they're not being played anymore. So EU, we're gonna see. Okay, EU always has like EU is always like a little bit here and there, man. You got a lot of people trying to force a lot of things in EU. That's for sure. Anybody who's played the Middle East servers knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, you can definitely see Ana and Brick were definitely taking over here. So season 4 and season 5, we can agree that Ana did see meta level play, which meta means most effective tactic available. She was now meta. In 4 and 5, she saw a little bit more play. Huh? Wait, one moment, guys. Guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. So season 5 and 6, Ana was meta because of the healing creep. Yeah. So it wasn't just that. It was also the fact like Ana and Brig have really good synergy and they could enable the meta of the time, which again, I'm not fully remembering, but I do believe we were in a Brawl-like meta, which again, Ana, Brig, and Ana Lucio was very good with. I don't remember the exact meta because it's been a while now. It's been almost a year. But if anybody remembers that season's particular meta, let me know. So moving on to season 6, this is where Iliari took over the game. Bap, Iliari, and Bap Lucio started to take over the game. So you can definitely see Iliari was the top dog. In EU, you're going to see a lot of Bap, a little bit of Ana here and there, lots of Iliari coming alive. Bap, bit of a jokey region. We don't really talk about EU that much. And then on Asia, you'll probably see Bap, Iliari, and again, Ana being forced simply for those dive comms because people like Korea is all about forcing dive everywhere. But you can definitely see Ana Iliari, Bap Iliari, they were trying to make all that stuff work, but the meta composition, as we saw, I believe Overwatch League was on during this time period, we did see that it was Bap Iliari. Like, Bap and Iliari were by far the best supports back then, right? And any team that tried to force the Ana Iliari, they were basically like on the losing side of things. Moving on to season 7, Bap and Iliari still reign supreme. As you can see, Ana now starts to phase out, right? Ana begins to phase out. You can see even on the second page, Ana is still phasing out, and Bap is now fully taking over the game. And I do believe this is when... I don't remember. Like, I'm really struggling to remember particularly the tank metas. But I do believe Orisa, Sigma, and Hog started to come alive a little bit more, right? So Orisa, Sigma, Hog came alive a little bit more. So you got to see Bap and Iliari a little bit more. EU, you can start to see Ana's now fading out, right? We saw that EU was really comfortable playing the Ana, and now she's starting to fade out. You can see that. She's starting to fade out. She's going away. In Asia... Well, again, Asia were forcing... Well, Asia, they were a different beast back in this meta. They got that Brigida really came alive. And I believe this is where Brigida had the more powerful whip as well, right? Brigida had the more powerful whip. Season 8 and Season 9, where we are at now. Again, Season 8 is just before, if I'm not mistaken, Ana started to find her place in the game again. But there was a healthy enough variety, depending on the region, of, again, stylistic differences. You can see in Asia, because they like dive comps a lot more, Ana is seeing a lot more play. In EU, you can see, like, in EU, we like to play brawl a lot more. We're seeing Iliari, Bap, and Lucio more. If we go second page, like, you can see a lot of Bap and Iliari. And then in America, they like to do a bit of everything. So you can see, again, like, Ana, Bap. So, like, in terms of Season 8, we had the most variety in support, right? And the simple reason for that was, again, healing was at an all-time high. And Season 8, when we started to tone things down a little bit, Season 9, when the DPS passive came in Season 9, right? This is where things got weird, because in the beginning of Season 9, which we immediately lost in the first 2 weeks and a half, was where healing was at an all-time low, and we know Moira took over the game with Lucio. Now, America, and well, if you weren't playing Moira, you were definitely playing Kiriko. So it just, again, it depended on where you were on the ladder, but definitely you can see, like, Lucio, I would definitely say the standout with Lucio and Kiriko. But again, stylistic differences are important to understand, because Moira started to come alive in early Season 9, and she started to kind of become a back pocket pick in middle Season 9. That's where she started to, like, fade out a little bit. But people could still force some of their favorite characters, because again, it was more about your DPS and less about your supports, right? But now the game is going more towards the direction of supports again. So again, if we look at EU for, say, excuse me, if we look at EU, you definitely see we were playing a lot more of the Lucios, we were playing the Kirikos, the Baptistes, and things like that, right? So we were really trying to force that rush or dive like playstyle with Kiriko and Lucio, because Kiriko and Lucio, man, their synergy is insanely broken together, right? So you can definitely see that. But on ladder, like before GM and everything, if we take a backseat, like, this is exactly where you could see Moira was coming alive a lot more. There was a period where Zen was really strong too. We all remember when Zenyatta was really strong in Season 9. And, you can definitely see in the earlier ranks, we will see a lot of Moira coming alive, right? So you'll see Moira coming alive on the lower end of GM, because again, she's easier to play, more accessible, things like that. Even Mercy, was like decent in between here and there, although Mercy actually needs a bit of help now too. So you can definitely see, like, the Moira was definitely very good and coming alive. Granted that this is now Master's territory, but the ranks are a little bit all over the place. So that's exactly my point, right? Hold on, let me catch up on the comments. So everybody's saying, Helpy said, hold on, whoa, there's a bunch of comments now. So, I used to play Ana 10 in Overwatch 1, wonder why I'm barely touching on Overwatch 2. Ana's still really, like, Ana is really fun. It's just the current state of the game where we are at, particularly right now. She's not good in this particular scenario, right? Because of the new HP pools, her numbers do not catch up quickly enough. She cannot fill up those HP bars, especially for tank. Like, she's having a hard time keeping that tank alive. It's not necessarily her interaction with a squishy. It's more about her interactions with like your tank. And the thing is, if Ana invests a nade in the tank, she is now a free dive, right? Let's say like you're playing a brawl comp and you're fighting against a dive comp, a Doomfist dive comp. Okay, well that Tracer, Sombra, Doom are now harassing your tank. You're forced to use your nade to keep him alive. The Sombra, Tracer, Doom have identified that the nade has been used and now they just dive you. What are you gonna do? You're gonna sleep Doomfist and then like, Sombra and Tracer, what are you gonna do about them? Huh? If you're Moira, Lucio, Weaver, or Kiriko, all of them can escape that dive. Ana cannot. Ana cannot do a single thing about that if she gets dived. And that's not fair on Ana because she's an immobile support. They even went as far as to giving Zenyatta a boop on an infinite level cooldown. And Zenyatta has the biggest projectiles in the game. By the way, if you guys didn't know who has the biggest projectiles, if I'm not mistaken, it is Zenyatta. It is Zenyatta. Cubic Cat says support's getting buff after buff after buff after since season 9. I've been saying that since the videos. You've been there, Cubic Cat. I believe you've been in this in the comment sections where I'm saying they just keep buffing support again. Because I personally think Blizzard caves into the support pressure way too easily. And we are back in the game feeling like season 8. That like the next comment I'm going to address, Kiriko. Yeah, Kiriko as well. Kiriko has so many forms of escape. You can wall climb to avoid taking in some shots. Then you can teleport across the map. Then you can Suzu yourself for breakpoints. There's a lot of things Kiriko can do if she gets dived, right? And then Zen is the one who gets, Zen is the one that got the boop. But regardless, despite that, like Zen is still a diveable target, you know? I was dived a few days ago by Lucio, Tracer, Doom for an entire game. I feel that I swear, Munipa, honestly, by that point, you should be swapping it up and legitimately playing any of the easier heroes. Like, imagine this, guys. I am recommending to my Ana players, because I'm an Ana player myself, right? The hours I have the most support on is Ana, right? And then I have like an equal amount of hours on every other support, but I love Ana, right? And if anybody's been following the channel for a while, you guys know my old videos. The only thing I said that Ana needed properly nerfed was her nade losing the anti-effect in 5v5, because in 5v5 it's way too strong, right? In 5v5, Ana, and they will do it. You know why? Because they're testing it in Mirror Watch. In Mirror Watch, if you guys don't know, Ana's nade is not an anti-nade anymore. Ana's nade is a heal reduction nade in Mirror Watch. So they are now testing this idea. And even Reinhardt, guys, did you know that they might have watched one of my videos for Reinhardt? Because in my Reinhardt ran video, I said that what if we could give Reinhardt the ability to swing his hammer faster the longer he was on a target? They gave him this buff. They gave him this buff in Mirror Watch. There might be a dev that's watching my videos. There might be a dev watching my videos. You never know. So, from an Ana POV, I was, I don't want to like sound like I'm taking all the credit, and maybe this is ideas that are a bit too obvious and they pop up a lot, but I do, like, I never saw anybody talk about the thing about Reinhardt speeding up the longer he fights somebody. So I'm not going to lie, I will take a little bit of credit for that one if it ever comes through, right? Because I was the only one who said something like, Ryan's problem is his lack of speed. Everybody's like, oh, if you give Reinhardt more armor, if you give Reinhardt more shield. Dude, that's not going to do anything. Ryan can't keep up with everybody. Everybody else just runs away regardless. But anyways, again, it's not the point, right? So what's the point of a dive if every hero can simply escape? Exactly, Sunaru. You get the point that I'm trying to make, right? The point is when you're playing that stylistic gameplay of every support having a tool to now run away, you learn progressively over time on how to do either something we call a fake dive, or you understand how to divide resources on your team to force cooldowns, so then you can go make a dive. So for example, like, you know, I've been playing with Playmaker, like, you know, like obviously by myself offline, and with Eevee as well, right? So what I'll do is if I'm playing Sombra, I will harass a support, force out their cooldowns, and when those cooldowns are forced, I call out to Playmaker and I say, okay, buddy, make the Winston dive. Then he makes the Winston dive, then I come out of my next invis, and we delete that support. So you learn how to play like that, because a lot of people, you know how a lot of people play Overwatch? Let me show you. A lot of people think Overwatch is a game that you're meant to do something like this, right? Let's just pretend here, because this is what the comments that I'm addressing. It's like they play Overwatch like this. I pick Moira. I've now dived the target, and now I deserve to win this duel. Look at that. Look how quick that was. Look how quick that was, right? Moira's ability to kill a target. This is really loud for me. I don't know why. Right? Moira's time to kill on any target right now, any 250 HP target or whatever, is so much faster than Ana's too, and it requires so little skill. Again, look at this. Like, oh, there's a venture that can suck off the map. Okay, I forced her to use her drill and everything. Oh, she went up here. Let me just chase her real quick, and now let me burst her down. What is the venture going to do? Right? And in the Ana scenario, right? If Moira throws that orb, again, let's think about it, right? In comparison, if Moira throws the damage orb, right? If Moira throws the damage orb, she's committed to doing the damage part in her kit. But if we call out that Moira no orb and we try to dive her, she can still do something like this. She can escape multiple people. However, if Ana is dueling a target, and now we call out that, you know, the nade is out, and now the Ana is vulnerable to dive, Ana has this one sleep dart for one target. And if you miss that one target, you are now vulnerable. And you got Tracer, Sombra, and the Doomfist you just missed. Because he's a good Doomfist, he knows how to bunny hop. Now what are you going to do? Or if it's D.Va, she eats your sleep dart. If it's Winston, he blocks your sleep dart. Now what do you do on Ana? You're a walking free kill. You're a walking free kill. What do you do? There's nothing you can do on Ana at that point, right? I simply asked for more hammer range. I mean, I don't know about the hammer range. I think Ryan does need the speed though. Also, like, a lot of people don't know this trick for Life Fever. I do this a lot. Like, whenever I want like a chill night of Overwatch, I play Life Fever. Like, you know, don't hate the player, hate the game. All right, like, don't judge me for it. Dude, this trick is broken. Look, what you do is you put one petal. A lot of Life Fever players do not do this, and I do not know why, right? I position a little bit, like, let's say my team is fighting over there where that blue bot is, right? I position here. If I get that, what's this? Look at the survivability, right? Look at this. Like, let's say I'm getting dived. I'm like, oh, a Genji's on me. You just come up here. Genji wall climbs. I fall down. Next petal platform. I go up here. And now I obviously, like, you know, I jump on a high ground or something like that. And I get the heal from my dash. The new 90 healing, I think, that you can get off of dash. Look at that level of survivability. And look at the input that you have to do on Life Fever to stay alive. Compare that to playing Ana and landing this one sleep dart. What do you think is easier to do? Life Weaver's petal platform trick to stay alive? Or Ana's, like, Squid Games scenario of land this one sleep dart and your life is still not guaranteed because there's two people still diving you. Think about it. What do you do? Ana also has a Hanzo dash and memoirs. Yeah, but they just put that in for funsies. Like, they're not going to give Ana double jump. If they mobility creep Ana, I will just make another balance team video and just call out the fact that they will just remove weaknesses from every character. Like, we should have a Ana's weakness is that once her cooldowns are down, she is a diveable target. But we're not trying to make her an undivable target. We're understanding that Ana's problem right now is if Ana does take a duel, Ana cannot duel effectively because you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, like, this is implying that there's no DPS passive. This is implying that there's no extra healing or whatever, and Venture's abilities are offline. She has to commit to using so much of her kit in this much time. 1, 2, 3 that I'm shooting the Venture. Venture two-shots me. Like, again, implying that the duel is picture perfect and neither of us misses. Venture does 1, 2, and then finishes me off or something like that. It just finishes me off in the 1-2 combo that she has. The 1-2 combo of just doing something like this. How is Ana supposed to survive that? It's legitimately GG's. It's legitimately GG's for Ana the moment this happens, right? And like, oh, if she nades me or if she sleeps, okay, sleep is a different thing. But Ana nades me. Oh, I wonder what I'm gonna do about the sleep, about the nade effect. Let me just go, come back, and 1-2 combo Ana again. And there's nothing that Ana can do about it now. So the power that I'm trying to give Ana is not in the nade, is not in the sleep. The power that I'm trying to give Ana is in her weapon. And if anything, in my opinion, nerf the nades' damage back to whatever the previous value was, because the damage is 100 now, right? Like, if you throw a nade, you do 100 damage. I disagree with this. This is a little bit more unhealthier. rather allow Ana her previous breakpoints of being able to do her previous combo, right? Because again, the point of the 250 HP changes was to deal with the one-shotting problem. But why are we like having characters like Ana suffer who couldn't quote unquote one-shot people, right? It's extremely silly. Man, remember when the way to play against Weaver was to dive in because he can pull anyone you dive, but didn't really have good escape? Yeah, exactly. I mean, now, you know, and then if you really want to push it, Cubic, you know what you do? Like, this is your survivability on Life Weaver, right? Like, I'm here, I'm helping my team. By the way, look at this, guys, look. I can legitimately aim away. Look where my reticle is, and look at this. You're trying to tell me that this shit should be viable? That you don't even have to look in the diamond. You have to just... Something for the sting. You guys are watching this, right? Look at this. As long as you release the healing while the diamond is here... Look at this, it bounces. This is ridiculous. And look, dude, look how far away I'm aiming. Look at this. Look at this. You're trying to tell me that this isn't forgiving? You're trying to tell me this is what you want meta? You're trying to tell me this is healthy for the game? For the people that argue that Life Weaver needs to be good for one season? Look at this. I don't have to look at them. I don't have to aim at them. Look, did you see the way that thing bounced? Look at that. Look how it bounces up and comes down. It's aimbotting. Imagine if we had a DPS that did something like that. That's insane. I cannot. That's insane. Oh my god. So the next like Life Weaver combo is, again, you take the first petal, you move on to a safer location. If they're still diving you, because like now the second person comes to dive you, you petal platform away again, you get your next dash, and now they're still diving you, you bring your teammate up to you and turn that 1v1 into a 2v1, and you win this. Because of course Life Weaver's damage is not that bad right now. Like, it's actually like decent if you know what you're doing. And if you can force a duel like in a tight room or something, it favors Life Weaver a lot. And then if worse comes to worse, dude, you bring this up and this thing does 90 healing. 90 healing per pulse. And they get over health. Like, what? And this thing has 1200 HP. Oh my god. And apparently this is not broken, but Ana having to do all of that we just talked about is apparently broken. Come on, my goodness, man. My goodness, I cannot believe it. And the same thing goes to Moira, right? Like, if we talk about Moira, her healing as well is mechanically easy as hell. All you have to do is this. Like, Moira is an AoE healer who has high AoE healing, and she's overtaken Ana's spot. Like, just look at this. Look at this. What skill is this? What skill is this? Right? It's so easy. And to everybody that's like, oh, well, you know, Moira, you have to balance this. You have to balance the right click. Dude, I'm gonna be real. If you're struggling balancing out the right click, please just play another game. I'm sorry. I really do not want to sound like I'm flaming people, but this is a competitive shooter, and managing Moira's resource meter is the easiest thing in the world. Look, I just hold this left click, and I'll teach you this technique for the people that don't know. If you super tap the right click, the meter will charge really quickly. Watch this. Look at this. I'm tapping right click. Look at that. Look how quick that charges. Look how quick that charges. Like, this is a tech. This is a Moira tech. And it's so easy. And it's so easy to also build Coalescence. And may I remind everyone that Coalescence is almost a guaranteed teamfight win. It can reach so far across the map, and it can do more than one thing at a time. Look at this. I keep my teammates alive and just do damage all at the same time. Why would I ever want to play Ana again when Ana is marginally more... By the way, this is a sick highlight intro. Like, you know, the spawn or whatever you want to call this. Why would I ever want to play Ana when Moira, Lifeweaver, Bab, and even Kiriko do everything that Ana is meant to do, but they have an easier time, better survivability, and just better team fight capability than Ana right now, right? Because again, Moira doesn't struggle with the 250 HP. Moira likes it when more people have big HP bars, because if the HP bars are bigger, Moira charges up her coalescence faster. Where has Moira been played? She was played in Goats and she was played in Quad Tank. What was the one thing that was a commonality in both those compositions? The fact that Moira could charge coalescence instantaneously. All the low elo players, they're doing this. They damage up and they think, oh, this is how you win on Moira. Anybody with a functioning brain cell right now understands that you do not do that. You do this. You do this and you do this into your team fights. And the second you get coalescence, once you get coalescence, right? You approach the enemy team, you throw that damage over for more damage uptime, and you just get behind your tank and run it down mid. It is a 90% chance you will win that team fight. Because you're hiding behind like 4 different bodies, and you're damaging 5 different bodies across the map. Do you see how easy that is? Right? Come on now. And it takes, exactly, Pickles, you said it right. It takes way longer to learn Ana as well. It was a mistake to let Ana charge her meter with the damage orbs. She can do that? You're joking. No, you're wrong. She can do that? Are you serious? Wait, let me see this. Why? Why did they that? Why is that a thing? Wait, I didn't even know that was a buff. Oh, that's crazy. They made the easier hero easier. Their balanced philosophy is, guys, let's look at all the easy characters and make them easier to play. Let's look at all the hard characters and make them harder to play. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I didn't even know that. I actually didn't know that. Holy shit, Cubic. I didn't know that. Oh, Jesus. I actually didn't know that. Each dash is like 60 heal, but yeah. And here's the thing, the Lifeweaver, one thing people don't know, when Lifeweaver does this like double jump of his, he heals people next to him. So if you do this, you leave like a healing trail. You leave like a healing trail, and it can heal people near you. So if you're playing with the other support, or you pull like, let's say I pull my DPS to me and I like healing trail him, he'll get healed. He'll get healed off of it. It is a function of it. I think it says over here. Wait, it doesn't heal. Like, doesn't it have that feature where it heals people, or am I remembering somebody else, or was it like a different game mode where I think in the Halloween game mode, Lifeweaver could do that, right? Like you could pull people and you could heal them. Hold on, let these guys respawn. Okay, let them take damage. I think you like pull them, so this gives them the heal. Hold on, I think that was the custom game mode that I'm remembering. Yeah, okay, my bad. Okay, so I'm wrong about that one. My bad. Because I do remember that in one of like the perks or something that they gave Lifeweaver in one of the different game modes was if you dash through some teammates, you can heal them. So I was misremembering that. That's my bad, guys. That's my bad. Genji's crying. WTF? Yeah, I know, right? This hero's a joke, by the way. By the way, the emerald stuff looks really cool. Look at that. If you guys want the best emerald combo, like the green weapon combo, put it on this skin. Look how beautiful that looks. That looks amazing. Let me show it to you guys in game. Look at that. Looks clean. Looks clean, doesn't it? It looks perfect. Look at the sword. Ah, that's sick, huh? Looks nice. It looks really clean. Okay. Let's get through the support issues first, and then we can do some gameplay. Because we're gonna have a bit of a stream with this one, I'm not gonna lie. So, whenever I talk about support, like, I try to keep it in a fair ground of like understanding skill to reward ratio, because at the end of the day, this is a competitive shooter game. And if you're having a competitive shooter game, look at me straight in the eye and tell me, why would you ever want anybody to learn Ana when these two characters that are fundamentally easier to play, Moira and Lifeweaver, do everything that Ana does right now, but much better? Like, if you DPS with Ana right now, you're throwing because she doesn't have enough damage for the breakpoints. Okay, she doesn't have enough damage for the breakpoints. So you're forced to heal bot with her. But if you're gonna heal bot, this girl does more healing. This guy does more healing. This guy does more healing. This girl does more healing. Why are you playing Ana? If you want to do more damage, Lucio is better, Moira is better, Zenian is better, Kiriko is better, Iliari is better, Bap is better. Break in Circumstances does a bit of everything when you play her to counter like a diva comp or like a general dive comp. So right now, in the current state of the game, with the DPS passive, with the 250 HP pools, Ana struggling to kill anything, Ana struggling to heal anything, why would you play him? Can Weaver heal the enemy team? No, he cannot. No. They removed that flower drop thing. Like, one of his first changes that they changed was that thing. It was also stupid because, like, if you killed Life Weaver, you got rewarded for it, which was the stupidest thing that they ever put into the game. It was so funny when they put that into the game. Like, hey guys, by the way, if you kill a Life Weaver, he drops a parting gift, and that parting gift heals you as a flanker. Like, somebody actually said it in the balance team. Somebody sat there in the balance team and thought that they were cooking with this change, when they were like, what if Tracer and Sombra could heal themselves after they kill you? I cannot. See, like, I can call out BS when I see it, right? Like, that is just a massive buff to Tracer and Sombra. It's crazy. You can play Ana so she one-shots Doom with Empowered Punch. I mean, sure. It's not like Doomfist needs it, but it's like one particular interaction, right? Like, why force somebody to play Ana? I mean, okay, like, if you're playing Doom into a brawl comp, then it's fine. As long as the criteria to play Ana right now is if Ana cannot be touched by the enemy team, then it's okay to play Ana. Like, if they're not playing anything mobile and they're playing like mostly like a poke or brawl comp, it's okay to play Ana. But if they're committing to any form of dive, you're going to struggle a lot on Ana. It's very difficult to make the character work. A lot of people saying that Hanzo should get his one-shot back, but I disagree. So I was going to make a Hanzo video, so I might give you guys the spoilers. You're my special viewers over here today. So I wanted to talk about this, and you know what? Like, I have two opinions on Hanzo, right? Please hear me out. Hear me out. Hanzo, whether we like it or not, two things we have to understand. That number one, Hanzo is a sniper character, right? And number two, I understand that people do not like his one-shot, but I would argue that he needs it to maintain the sniping position that he's supposed to have, right? Because of the breakpoints screwing over Hanzo, this problem over here, this is a big deal for Hanzo. Now, again, a lot of people say that Hanzo has one of the biggest... Excuse me, I'm dying. A lot of people say that Hanzo has one of the biggest projectiles in the game. But if anybody has seen the damage projectile chart and all this type of stuff, Hanzo actually has one of the smallest projectiles in the game, even now. I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, Hanzo got his projectile reverted back to 0.1. I don't even think he's 0.2. Because they were like, yeah, that's silly, he doesn't deserve 0.2. But here's the problem now, right? This character is a sniper character. And when a sniper cannot snipe, there's no reason to play him when whatever he's supposed to do, Venture, where's them? Venture, Torbjorn, I guess even like Mei and Farah, like that spot of doing the burst damage as a projectile hero, other characters are doing it better than Hanzo. So in all fairness, Hanzo lost his place in the game. In all fairness. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. How would I buff Hanzo? Okay, there's two ways to buff Hanzo. Two ways to buff Hanzo that I've been talking about for a while now, especially in the tier list videos. Number one is the easy route, which is you give him his one-shot back. Right? You give Hanzo the one-shot back. By the way, this skin is insane. I love it. It's so good. Okay? You give Hanzo the one-shot back. Or another suggestion, which personally I like this suggestion a lot more nowadays, is there was a period in time in Overwatch 1 where, to keep up with the massive heal creep in the game, they allowed Hanzo to charge his arrows faster, and the arrows also shot out faster to be more consistent. They reverted this buff just before we went into Overwatch 2. And I think that was in line with preparing for Overwatch 2 because the game opened up for Hanzo a little bit more. So this animation here, like this charge up, this was much faster. And then the way when the arrow shot out, that was a bit faster too. If I'm not mistaken, both of them got reverted to the original that Hanzo had since Overwatch 1 release. Both this animation and that shooting animation is back to the way than it used to be. So it's either we do not touch his numbers and we touch this animation in particular, because in team fights and everything, this is a lot of time, guys. This charge up is a big deal, right? Like Overwatch is a game about seconds. We cannot forget that. So this almost 1 full second to charge the arrow, it's kind of a big deal for Hanzo, right? So whether they go down the one-shot route or they increase the attack speed or the bow charge speed route, Hanzo could possibly use that. Hanzo could possibly use that. He is kind of weak in that regard, and he's very bad right now as well. Hanzo, Storm Arrow alone makes a one-shot unnecessary. I mean, but here's the thing, right? I hate Storm Arrow. I actually think that it's one of the worst abilities that they've ever put into the game. It's one of the worst abilities because this ability in particular removes the fantasy of a sniper character and now makes them more of like a brawl character. And I know why they did this. This Storm Arrow is meant to be something to help Hanzo with his duels against against tanks mostly. Because it's very easy to miss it on squishy targets because the arrows go way too fast. So like the chance of missing it is very, very easy. It's like the Storm Arrow actually takes a lot more skill to land on squishies than it does on tanks. But it's very easy to do a combo like this. Like, oh, they're playing Mauga across the map. Okay, let me just like do this and now do that. Like come on, that's bullshit, man. So in my, like, Storm Arrow problem is something else. Like, I would rather Storm Arrow got changed. And maybe even Storm Arrow Storm Arrow could be like a buff where it allows him to charge up his, bow faster and shoot faster. Instead of just outright like instantaneous damage output, right? Instantaneous damage output. I don't like that. Because it's inconsistent. It's a bit inconsistent, right? It's inconsistent, so that's why I don't like it, concept-wise. But yeah, Hanzo's in a rough spot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, Hanzo is in a bit of a bad spot. He's fun to play. You can certainly make him work, but he's not like super good, Hanzo changes only reinforce the spam zone. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, Cubic Cat. Like, Hanzo's problem is this particular mechanic, this particular ability. Like, they have to get rid of this. It's and another thing. You guys are gonna get a massive spoiler. But I would appreciate if you watch the videos regardless because it helps with the algorithm. Symmetra, I have a Symmetra video cooking up in the background for like the next few days. Symmetra needs, and I know this is going to be controversial, right? Symmetra needs to lose the teleporter and the turrets. I know a lot of people are not going to like hearing this when I make that video, but there was a point back in Overwatch 1 where I don't know if it was Jeff Kaplan or Jeff Goodman, but they openly stated that the biggest problem with Symmetra as a character that they face is Symmetra is limited by design because they're stubborn over the idea that they want the teleporter to stay in the game. They're extremely stubborn about this one ability. And here's the worst part. It unironically holds Symmetra's kit back. Guys, this is a character that in the lore, through Hardlight, can make anything she wants. Why don't we play into that gimmick? Why does she have to create a teleporter? What if she created like a mini robot, or like, I know I don't want deployment creep, but like instead of the turret, she could create like some mini robot that like, I don't know, like you could go wild. Like again, when I make the Symmetra video, I'm gonna like do some research on what like some Symmetra experts say, because Sim's not really up my alley, so I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys that these are the perfect solutions, because I don't speak out of my ass. Like I speak about characters that I'm a little bit more aware of, but I do understand that characters like Sim and Junkrat need a little bit more attention and love, so I will bring it to them. But I do fundamentally believe that Symmetra's biggest problem is the teleporter and these turrets, because they hold back her entire gameplay design. Auto turrets don't belong in it. Exactly, I agree. Not only is it like really annoying to deal with, it just holds back Symmetra's actual damage potential. That's why they cannot buff Symmetra's gun. Like a lot of the Symmetra community, when they complain about buff Sim's weapon, why does Zarya do more damage, why does she have less damage than a Winston's gun, like what they don't understand is the reason for that is the way the developers want you to play Symmetra is this. Like you set up your turns and now play people play in this range. So the total DPS output of these three and this left click is really high. But that's stupid because you're limited to just playing around your turns all the time. Right? You're always limited to playing around your turns. And it's very easy to get rid of them. So it's again another design flaw. And it's another like perspective that they're just really stubborn. They're just really stubborn to rework Sim. Like Sim doesn't need a rework where, oh, let's buff the turret, so oh, let's change up teleporter. She needs an Orisa level rework where you change the entire kit of the character, and even I would go as far to say the ultimate to make the character better. Otherwise, I'm really sorry to say this, but Symmetra will always be garbage tier in Overwatch 2 because she's too slow. It's the same problem that Anna's running into, is she's too slow. You cannot have two slow characters. And Sim is too slow. I mean, the reason why I cry about Torbjorn so much, like, you know, everybody knows I'm a Torbjorn hater despite how much I like abusing him. Torb's biggest strength is this. Speed. Speed. What? Like you know, I do it. People say, oh, when I want to counterpick a Winston, I go Torbjorn. Sorry, Reaper. I'm like, nah, bro, you gotta go Torbjorn because you can like set up a turret and apply DPS passive constantly while he cannot do anything about it. And once he's up in your face, you just overload, run around him in circles, and just delete his HP bar. Look at that. Look at that. The speed of how fast Torb can kill compared to the speed of Reaper, who is just a weaker Torbjorn and a more inconsistent Torb. Look at this. Look at this. It's slower. And that makes Reaper bad. Because if he's being healed, if he's dodging your shots, if you miss a shot, Reaper's more inconsistent, so he's bad. But comparatively and arguably, I would say Reaper is quote-unquote harder to play than Torbjorn, because Torbjorn is more forgiving. You have the turret backing you up, and you give yourself 400 flat-out HP on the bottom left. Look at that. 400 HP. Blizzard, come on, dude. That's a bit silly. That's a little bit silly, I'm not gonna lie. Isn't this been an issue with Blizz for years now? They refuse to get rid of faulty design? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they outright admitted it. Like, I don't remember who it was, but I remember watching an interview where I do believe it was Jeff Goodman who did say that one of the biggest struggles they had with Symmetra was the fact that they are stubborn about her teleporter, particularly the teleporter. But the funniest thing is the teleporter is what holds Symmetra back. The teleporter is what holds Symmetra back the most. You know, I've been thinking, like, instead of a teleporter, what if Sim could create like a ramp? Like, she made like a hardline ramp and you could like climb. So like, it's basically like another Bay wall, but it would just, I don't know, like, it would just be better. Like, better to have that than this weird thing where it just doesn't synergize with Symmetra's kit. It doesn't enable Symmetra in any way. Because, okay, look at contradicting design, right? Teleporter wants you to play across the map and go in and do some weird shit. But the turrets want you to stay around and play around them in a corner to get maximum value. It's contradicting design. Do I stay and play in close range and apply pressure? Or do I try to do some flank things, but I'm not actually a flanker? What do I do? It makes no sense. It's not like Torbjorn. Like, for example, Torbjorn's thing is when he puts up his turret, him and the turret can poke targets down, right? And if they get up in your face, like, you can overload and now start melting the target. Symmetra doesn't have any of this. Symmetra doesn't have any of that. Right? Symmetra doesn't have any of that. Symmetra doesn't have an anti-dive tool. Jesus, guys, look at that. That looks gorgeous. The emerald weapons with the nice skin looks amazing. Might have to just stick on the skin for a while. It's really, it's amazing, actually, the way it all comes together. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the design problem, right? I hope they cook with the Reaper rework. I hope they cook with both the Reaper rework and the Cass rework. But here's a blazing hot one, right? I think Cass is actually kind of fitting into the current game state really well. Like, he's seen a lot of play in OWCS as well. Granted that he's kind of being picked as just the tracer, like the anti-tracer character. But he's fitting into the new game really well. I've been playing some Cass too, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like, do we need to rework him? It's not that bad. You know? It's a bit of an awkward one now, because it's like, I want to see what they cook, but you know, let's see where we go with this, right? So anyways, guys, let's get back to addressing the comments, because I do need to leave sooner than later, and I'll be back later tonight with another stream. And hold on a minute, I'm getting some messages. Okay. Sim with extra movement sounds really ace. Okay, Kitsune, the point here is we replace the teleporter with something a little bit better for her because the teleporter unironically holds back her design, right? So the idea is we want every character to feel better to play rather than extremely clunky. So I'm fair on this when it comes to any character. Like, for example, I don't want Life Weaver to be garbage tier. I want Life Weaver to be fair, right? Because a fair in design is, for example, Ana, right? Like, Ana doesn't have mobility. So if her positioning is bad and her cooldown usage is bad, this Ana is a free kill. Okay, same thing, I look at Zen and I look at Lucio, right? Lucio's trade-off is he's a jack of all trades, master of none. And they even nerfed his damage. So his damage is like mediocre. Okay, you play him for the speed. He has like decent healing. Like his healing is actually one of the lowest in the game, but it's AoE. Okay, and he has like really strictly high cooldowns on his amp. So if you misuse the amp, your team's exposed for 12 seconds and getting run over, right? And on Lucio, the high skill ceiling is you have to be good at his movement. So I like this because again, it plays into learning a character. Same thing with Mercy, right? I know a lot of people don't like Mercy, but I really like Mercy. I think Mercy just has like probably a really annoying community around her, but the thing I like about Mercy, right, is a Mercy with like really good movement, like this type of stuff. Dude, this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is sick. Like this is a bit unfair to make movement like this, okay? But this is really fun to do, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It's, like you gotta kind of play it to appreciate it. But it's really fun. Like the different types of Mercy movement, I like it too. But unfortunately, I can also understand that sadly, because Mercy has really good movement, that's the reason why they don't buff up other parts of her kit, is because you can't have a support have a movement like this. Look at that, I just covered like this entire space in just 1 second. You can't have a support have this type of mobility and then justify the idea of giving them more healing or power in damage. Well, of course they're not going to buff damage boost, or put power in our ultimate. And sadly, that's why I said in the tier list video that if we go into a world where Mercy does need a buff or a rework, like a lot of Mercy players need to understand that she has to lose the movement for it. Because again, the strength of Mercy is things like this, right? If you're good with the movement, what is anybody going to do, right? And the movement requires a good amount of skill. Granted that they did dumb it down a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, they did dumb it down a little bit. But trust me, man, like you'll know a good Mercy and a bad Mercy. Like let's be a bit like fair. I get that Mercies can be annoying, but you know when you have that one Mercy that cannot be killed, it's amazing. Like you know when I have Eevee on Mercy, it's one thing to have Eevee on Mercy, and it's another thing to have Buttercup 69 on Mercy. Okay, like y'all know what I'm talking about, right? It's a massive difference on those two things. Remove Bob. Bob is okay. I would just reduce his HP a little bit. Wait, so people would rather play against a stat bot like Moira than I have Anabi? Okay, well, I don't know if you're just coming in, but yeah, that's actually the argument in my... like, I got a lot of the TikTok Moira players down there telling me that Moira needs to be... Sorry, that Ana needs to be bad because Ana is insanely broken. Even though I proved through, like, majority of the metas in Overwatch 2, Ana was never meta. And when she did see play, it was because she was a byproduct and not because she was the defining factor. Granted that anti-nade is a different problem, and I've already said that make anti-nade a healing reduction ability. Buttercup 69. Dude, come on, we've seen those type of Mercy plays. You know how it is. You know how it is. You know when you get Buttercup 69, she only knows how to do something like this. Alright? Let's be real. They just know how to do this, and that's it. But when you get some support players like Eevee, dude, freaking Eevee, she does shit like this, like, oh, there's a flanker here, she's gonna like go across this part of the map, she's gonna heal you up, she's gonna bait somebody into a DPS that they cannot see, then she's gonna bounce from here, she's gonna super jump onto a high ground, then she's gonna like fly over here, and you'll be like, what the flip is going on? Who's this Mercy player, bro? Like, Eevee plays on a different dimension when she plays with me, and she always tells me, she's like, because you play Genji and you have to take like all these like really aggressive angles, I have to learn how to move like an expert to stay alive. So I feel really bad when she has to tell me that. but it is fun, right? Because it's encouraging a more proactive style of gameplay, right? Like it's more fun to do things like that than to just like brain dead, like, oh yeah, I do this and I'm so good at the game, guys. Oh, I'm so good at the game, you know? That's why Moira is fundamentally the easiest support to play and Mercy isn't. Because Mercy actually has the skill expression tied to her that is this movement and awareness level. A Moira doesn't need that much awareness level compared to a Mercy to make the character work the higher up you go, you do get punished like crazy on a mercy, right? Everything's a problem in 5v5? No, not necessarily everything. I do believe we need to go back to 6v6 though. But there are things right now to make it work. It's nearly impossible to play Ana right now. No, I agree. That's why I made the video on it. What if we replace the teleport with a ricochet pad? Our secondary fire can create up to 3 ricochets that last for 5 hours. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Never thought about that. Ana isn't that bad. Ana is really bad, dude. Ana is a throw pick. I've played a lot of ranked right now in this season, and I've noticed one trend. If I have Ana and the enemy doesn't, I'm losing. I'm losing. It's GG's. It's just Ana doesn't do enough in the current game state. Sadly, that's just the case. Ana doesn't do enough in the current game state. Because you want everybody to do more this season. You want your supports. Like, that's why Lucio and Moira are really good right now. It's because they can do the healing part and then do even more than that. Right? But if Ana is healing, Ana is healing. Right? Ana cannot do beyond more than that. And again, Ana is single target. What is the thing that Lucio and Moira have? Lucio and Moira are AoE supports. AoE healing supports. Moira just does this and this. Okay, and Lucio exists and he heals up his entire team. And then they can do more than that, beyond that. So Ana she's fading out, and then Ana is vulnerable to dive. If you replace her, if you want to play a single target healer, Life Weaver is just fundamentally better right now. And because the game is so reactive right now, you don't even need proactive ultimates when the reactive ultimates are so hilariously busted right now. Like, why would I want to play for Nano when the characters that need Nano the most, Genji, are garbage tier? And second of all, why would I need Nano when I can give me and my team, when I can turn all of us into tanks? Look at this. I'm gonna turn him into a tank in just a second. Oh, well, he's cut off from line of sight. But look at this. He's a mini tank, I'm a mini tank, and if I had a tank over here, they'd be about 900 HP too. This is fundamentally better to use in a team fight than Nano Boost right now. All these people like in that Ana video were like, oh, you just want free nanos as a Genji player. Dude, get shit even with Nano. I want Genji. Like Genji has a different problem. It was so funny to read comments on that video. What changes would you keep from the new Mirror Watch event? 100% Ana's nade gets changed to the heal reduction, and Reinhardt gets the swing speed increase. I haven't played enough of Mirror Watch. I plan on streaming it to you guys. And gathering feedback, like all of us sit down, like I'm gonna try and play with it with Playmaker and Eevee tonight, and we'll see how we feel about that. Like, they haven't played it either. I only played like 1 or 2 matches, but I do believe that the most reasonable changes to keep is the Reinhardt speed increase and the Ana heal reduction nade, because I agree that anti-nade is a problem. I've been saying it for over a year. All tanks as tankbuster snipers, one-shot based heroes, burst damage, divas, mobility. Wait, whoa, that is... I don't get that. Tree of Life is better than Nanoblade and Coalesce is better... Yeah, exactly. Coalescence and Tree of Life are pretty much 90% team fight win. Like, when Ana gives away that nano, she's putting faith that this person, the one that's taking it, can do something with it. And all it takes, by the way, all it takes, 2 ultimate investment, all it takes is this. And then a teleport to make sure that the Genji doesn't get value. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And 2 ultimates get wasted just like that. Just like that. Or if, for example, if I'm nanoblading as a Genji and I still need to... By the way, did you guys know that now it takes up to 4 slashes to kill a Life Weaver? He takes 1 slash, 2 slash, then this dash gives him more than enough HP to tank 2 more hits. Can you believe that? I wish somebody from my friends list was online so I can show it to you guys. But anybody that has played Genji into Life Weaver this season, it's so funny, dude. It's so funny how bad Genji is. Hold up. I don't know if I can replicate it in here. 1, 2, 3. That is fine, but if the Life Weaver dashes, he gets the 90 healing. And then with the 90 healing, I need to hit him 1 or 2 more times depending on the situation. But I cannot replicate it in here. Oh my god, dude, it is so hilarious when it happens. Every problem with 5v5 that doesn't or barely exist in 6v6, or I forgot. That's what happens when devs don't play their own game. Devs do play their game, they just balance it for the wrong people. That's the harsh reality of it. They balance it for the wrong people that don't care about playing the game properly. So you end up in states like this. Overwatch 2 is full of direct blade counters and still no Genji burst. Yeah, I know. Here's what I would say, right? For Genji, just increase the shuriken damage to 28 and then leave him alone. Please, that's all I ask. Don't buff up Blade, don't change Nano. I'm fine with that. I can get used to Blade being like a pulse bomb. I'm okay with that for 1 or 2 kills. Put the power in his neutral, for the love of God. This is really bad right now. This does no damage right now. It's like he shoots 3 different projectiles, and if even one of them misses, you are screwed. Look at this. If I miss even one, the Life Weaver can stay alive. Look at that. Look at that. Like, that's almost a full shuriken. I'm purposefully missing 1 or 2 because in a reasonable, like, duel, the Life Weaver will be moving and I will miss, but it's so, like, look at the time, man. Look at this. This is ridiculous how long it takes to kill one support. I go Tracer over here. I get into range and look at this. I already faster than Genji. If I go Sombra over here with just the virus, already faster than Genji. And if I go Venture over here, well, Venture's a really powerful one, but already better than Genji. Better combo than Genji as well. So, and then again, another replacement to Genji is Echo. It's just this, and this. Like, why are you playing Genji now? What are you playing him for? He's not a Blade bot anymore because his Blade is garbage. His neutral is outclassed by Echo, Sombra, Tracer, Venture, and even Pharah. So exactly why are you picking Genji again? And I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm utterly disappointed in the bigger Genji content creators. Except one, Hiku is like the only one that genuinely tried to push for Genji buffs. But guys, like from the Genji community side of things, we do a horrible job. We are way too quiet about the state of this hero. And I understand that it's more about the fact that the devs don't listen. But man, like, we really gotta push for some Genji buffs. He's really bad right now. He gets 90 for dashing. Yeah, you didn't know that? He gets 90 healing for dashing now. Wait, look at this. I believe it's in this patch notes here. If I just scroll down a little bit. Life Weaver. Oh no, sorry. The tree went up to 90. My bad. The tree went up to 90. My bad. Life Weaver's rejuvenating dash gives him 60. But his 60 is still a lot. Because the way the rejuvenating dash works is it overrides your support passive into thinking you've never taken damage. So all you have to do is do a yeah guys, my bad. I got the numbers wrong. My bad. But the way that you can like sometimes the way you can insta trigger it, I don't know if this is a bug or not, or if they fixed it or not. But one of the things that Evie noticed that she brought into my attention, she was saying that apparently if you rejuvenating dash with Life Weaver, it also almost instantaneously turns on the support passive too. Because I think the game believes that you never took damage in the first place. So I don't know, we can test that. I don't know if they fixed it or not. She was saying it a lot before the Mirror Watch patch. So we just take this and we're like, okay, well, I didn't take enough damage. One moment. Let me just change the units here to do more damage. And I believe if it did get passed out or not. One moment. So we'll take damage here. And now if we dash, and okay, and there you go. Like, it's basically instantaneous anyway. Like, right after that rejuvenating dash, in another 0.5 seconds, the support passive comes online. So I guess you could say that in total, it is about 90 healing per second. Because look, usually when you're going to rejuvenating dash, if we do the trick that I said, right? Like, let's say I'm over here, I'm in a poke situation, and now I get attacked by these guys. Let's let them do some more damage. So, okay, I'm taking damage. I'm out. I take this pedal platform. By the time I get up with the pedal platform, my support passive triggers. I can still run away, and then I can double jump again, and my HP is back. Oh my god. Did you see that? That's crazy. Dude, that's so crazy how fast he can heal himself to stay alive and get into better positions. Did you guys see how fast the HP bar went up? Let's do that again. Okay. By the way, this is apparently in the people in the new video are saying this is healthier than Ana. Okay. So the same trick. You're gonna put platform down. Okay. Let's hypothetically assume we took some damage. Okay. We like rejuvenated dash, healed ourselves, took this, already support passive is triggering. And then we can use our next platform, go up into a better position, and then double jump again. Dude. My God. Like, support players have is so good. And guys, one more thing. A bunch of his HP is shields, and shields regenerates over time by itself. He is the tankiest support in the game right now. He's the tankiest support in the game right now. Can you believe it? The tankiest support in the game right now. It's crazy to me that we're supposed to work around Genji's statement when it's a different character. Yeah, no, I agree, Tongyeon. I agree. The Genji bias is 100% apparent, don't worry. I know. Because the dash counts as extra health and not healing, maybe? Well, I think maybe before the shields was working in a different way. So Evie did notice it. Like, she was saying, like, I don't know if I'm seeing things wrong or not, but she was like, Abby, like, it's triggering way too quickly. So I don't know. Maybe it was the shields coming online a little bit faster because of some bug, but it does seem like they did fix it in this patch. But it does trigger really, really easily. Dude, the people that are complaining about the Ana video, again, we're gonna go back to we're gonna read some comments, right? Because I want to get through that part really quickly if you guys don't mind, and then we'll do some gameplay, and then I'm gonna call it. So this guy, like, he said some good stuff. I agree, and I agreed. And so this is the one I hated the most. This, excuse me, I'm a bit sick. This comment in particular I really dislike. Hate is a strong word, won't use that. He said, bro said buff Ana, even though he is the main one complaining about the devs going back to Season 8 with the patch notes. Season 8, and Season 8, right? Season 8. Okay. When I talk about Season 8, we can see that, well, for me in EU, like, Ana was not that apparent. As you guys can see, even if we kind of go back, you can see it's a lot of Kiriko, Mercy. Okay, Ana is seen very little, right? Across GM, Masters, and Diamond, Ana is not being seen a lot. So, I mean, that's my personal experience. In EU, Middle East, and Southeast Asia, I'm playing in these three sub-regions, right? Because of the fact that it is what it is, right? The thing is when I say something like, the devs are going back to the way Season 8 feels, what people don't understand is my main cause of concern isn't towards the fact that we are reverting the game in terms of healing numbers. It's about the overall sustainability. If I pick Orisa over here, because Orisa started to enter the meta by Season 8, look at it. So I believe the numbers are adjusted for Orisa, because it's like if you only have one tank, I don't know why this is done. Hold on. Can I just confirm? Yeah. So, actually, is this the right HP pool or not? Because, like, I can't make my point without having the right HP pools. I'm a little bit confused. But, okay, my point isn't about... I do believe... How much HP does Doomfist have? Like, if you use Doom as an example. I forgot how much HP Doomfist have. Oh, wait, I'm not on the game screen yet. Hold on. Let's go back to the game screen. Yeah. What kind of dumb comment is that? So what they fail to miss the point of is the game going back to Season 8 and the way that it feels has less to do with healing and has more to do with the fact that tank survivability is insanely out of control, especially on meta tanks like Mauga or Rissa, okay, Roadhog especially, and a Zarya that knows what they're doing with the bubbles, like a Zarya that knows the three. So the trick with Zarya's bubble, the 3-bubble loop, is you take some damage, you bring up your first bubble, okay, and then you face tanking and playing around the corner really well, and around this point you bring up your next bubble, and then you bring up your third bubble, and basically in one team fight it feels like Zarya has 3 bubbles. So this way the survivability of tank feels very, very strong. Then you pair that with the fact that the healing reduction went down to 15%, and most of the DPS roster didn't get compensation buffs in terms of damage to keep up with the new HP pools. Pair that with the fact that support saw a healing creep increase, Iliari got a healing creep increase, and other supports saw, like, power going into different parts of their kits. By the way, best Iliari skin right here, for now at least. So the thing is marginally speaking, what was the point of the DPS passive if we wanted to go back into a sustainability creep or a healing creep state of the game anyway? So when I'm coming out and saying something like, again, it's so silly that I spent that video talking about majority of Ana's ability to duel and her single target healing a little bit, and mostly it was like a problem from a dueling perspective and how Ana is so vulnerable. How is that your indication to say something like, oh, well, Abby, he was the one complaining about season 8, and now he's like, oh, why are we going, like, he wants to take the game back to season 8. It's not the correct HP pool in the training area. Yeah, I know. I don't know the actual HP pools by heart right now, but you guys are sharing in the comments, so thank you for that. But yeah, and Zarya and Sigma can be insane. They need to be nerfed, but the biggest problem always too. Well, that's the matchmaker thing. That we'll talk about, in a different video. I agree that the matchmaker has a lot of problems. And 3 bubble is crazy. Yeah. So if you guys didn't know how to do the 3 bubble loop, I just taught it to you. Again, to the people that are just joining, the way the 3 bubble loop works is you use your first bubble. Okay, then you give some space. You play around the corner. You're already charged up. You now push for your second bubble. Okay, and then now you push for your third bubble. And oh my god, like, it is impossible to deal with Zarya when this happens. When all that happens, it can feel impossible to deal with the Zarya. And the same thing goes for the way Mauga's sustainability works. Same thing goes for Orissa's sustainability. Same thing goes for, who's another meta tank right now? Roadhog's sustainability. It feels pointless to fight them. That's what I meant when I was talking about Season 8. What the game feels like Season 8 is, why should I shoot this guy if he's never going to die? Why should I shoot this guy if he's never going to die? The whole point of the heal reduction was so that we could kill things again, whether it was a squishy, whether it was not a squishy. And one of the best changes before was you could actually duel a pocketed hit scan. Now you cannot even duel a pocketed hit scan. You need to get 2 shots extra, irregardless of character, to deal with the pocketed hit scan. And that's implying that the Mercy hasn't used res yet, and then she just res that target anyway. So again, it's like, from a gameplay POV, we are back to the way the game was in Season 8. So now, from a realistic point of view, when we see the patch notes and where they want to take the game, the only thing that we can do is power creep the game. Okay, if we're power creeping the game, bring Ana in line, because she's, again, high skill hero. Bring Genji in line. Bring Hanzo in line. Bring Junkrat in line. Bring Mei is also really bad right now. Bring Symmetra in line. Because these characters did not get accounted for the new changes. Bring Reinhardt in line. Winston is fine, I think. Okay, bring Reinhardt in line for sure. Why are we picking and choosing, right? Why did the bias go to certain characters like Orisa, Mauga, and Roadhog? Insane biases towards them since Season 8. That they get the best survivability, they get the best damage, they get the best uptime, and they left like the rest of the tank roll to go screw themselves. It's just a bias at that point. And the patch notes we got, which were supposed to nerf the dive meta side of things, did absolutely nothing. Like, are you guys seeing less Tracer? No, she's still strong. Is Sombra gone? No. Sombra is still, in my opinion, one of the best DPS in the game. So what was the point of the balance patch then? We didn't move anywhere. And another reason why Sombra and Tracer are good right now is they're the only characters that can keep up with the healing and the utility, and they're the only ones that even have the burst damage to fight this shit. It's virtually impossible to kill Hog. No, I agree. They should ban the game on open queue. It's not gonna work. I know, like, Samido and a bunch of other content creators are talking about open queue being the way to go, but like, the community is just never going to play the game properly in an open queue format. And we would, if we go into open queue format, in my opinion, we just go the Paladins route and we adopt character cards and character skill trees, and we just start doing that. At that point, just like do that. Like, I would rather do that than go into open queue naked, because then open queue creates a completely different set of problems. After all these years, people don't realize they want Ryan to be a strong tank. The thing is, like, people don't want Ryan to be OP. People just want Ryan to be playable. Like, it's just, you can't even play Ryan properly unless the enemy team is brain dead. again, I don't want to use this wording, but I don't know any better word. Again, English is my second language, so bear with me. But yeah. Since season 8, we've been getting Orisa bias since season 2. No, yeah. I meant like Orisa progressively has, in the Orisa video, where I talked about nerfing Orisa, Orisa has been progressively getting buffed since season 2. I fully agree. It's legit like the lower skill will thrive completely over her. Yeah. That's exactly what they're doing, is all the low skill heroes, especially in tank and support, they are the ones in a better spot, and all the heroes that need skill are thriving a lot less. So again, if people don't understand what, like in Overwatch, well, how can you say something like Moira doesn't need a lot of skill because haha no aim, when Winston and Ryan don't need a lot of aim? When we look at it from this POV, if we apply this criteria, we don't just judge from the POV that, oh, the gameplay loop of Reinhardt is, for example, like, oh, it is big shield man and this is easy, right? Nobody's arguing that this isn't easy. Like, when you take into account that this particular kit put up against this roster, and this roster, yeah, executing this kit is now a lot harder to do. So we don't just view it from that POV that, oh, well, Winston can't aim and all Winston does is jump in and hold left click, therefore Winston is easy to play. No, it's not just that, because again, it's also about interactions with other characters. Why Moira is considered the easiest character in the game is Moira gets to override interaction. Like, it doesn't matter who or what Moira deals, she will get the lifesteal when she's dueling. She will have this really forgiving, like, no aim, you know, latch onto a target, tethered beam, and this damaging stuff, right? Like, she has this window to do whatever she wants, right? This is easy to do. And this is also easier from the perspective that she doesn't have to aim. So the person that she's fighting, if they have to aim, it's harder for them to play that character into this duel. And it's easy for Moira because Moira can do this towards this entire cast and never have to take a fight differently. Moira fights Tracer, just do this. Moira fights Echo, just do this. Moira fights a Mauga, just do this. There's no thought process or differing interactions. For example, one of the coolest things I learned for Sombra's interactions when I was learning her was, but one of the mistakes I made a lot on Sombra was I always believed that when you try to counter Widowmaker with Sombra, you have to hack and then virus and then melt her. That's wrong, because I was watching a stream, or I forgot which content creator it was. They basically said that against Widowmaker, because she has a lower HP pool, you don't have to do this hack, because once you are doing this hack, Widow will usually run away. And if you have to commit to her, then you're wasting your translocator. Instead, what you do is you approach Widow with the shift and just melt her and then run away. So this, from an interaction POV, it's a completely different way to how Sombra interacts in the Widowmaker matchup than how she would take a matchup on, let's say, something like flanking Illari. So Illari, I have like different ways. So Illari, what I like to do is, let's say her pylon is up here. I'm gonna virus pylon and tickle it a little bit, like usually, like, you know, virus and tickle it, and then I'm gonna hack Illari and now try to duel her, right? Because this way she cannot put up another pylon, and if she does try to go for the pylon after the hack, the pylon will not get up in time so I can get rid of her, unless I play that matchup horribly. So there's a variety in the way that Sombra is approaching every single target. The same thing goes for Genji, right? Like, why Genji is high skill ceiling is your deflect is not going to work against a Symmetra, right? Like, the way you're going to duel Sim is going to be very different to the way you will also duel a Winston, the way you will duel a Mauga, like what you're going to do against Reinhardt. So I hope that at least this is being understood right now. Like, there's different ways that you play the character into different heroes. Against most of them, you can do the generalistic thing. Yes, for sure. This can apply to a lot of characters. But to play the game from a smarter POV, to play the game from objectively, like, being the better player than the other person, you do need to know these niche interactions, right? Sombra is 100% busted. Yeah, I know. That's why I rated her really high. And I was really surprised in a lot of other content creators' tier lists, they were saying that she's not that good. I disagree a lot. She's still by far the second best flanker in the game. By far. It's not even close. And on... yeah, exactly. So deflect is not... And that's exactly what I'm saying, right? Like, Reinhardt, Fire Strike is not guaranteed value. Left clicks are not guaranteed value. Your barrier is not guaranteed value, right? This is... You said it perfectly. What's your name? Kage, right? Kage said it perfectly. Like, These are not guaranteed value. But when Moira does this, this is guaranteed value. Right? This is guaranteed value because even if, let's say, even if the duel is not working out in Moira's favor, there is still one thing that's happening. She's healing herself so she can extend the duel. Therefore, the game is easier for her than it would be if she was playing Ana and she was missing her shots, right? And if I'm losing the duel, I have to do this. And if I mess this up, then I die. So, again, right? And let's say that Ana has to use the nade to stay alive. Moira gets to stay alive off of the lifesteal, and she can do this. Right? And she gets the healing orb to stay alive. And if that doesn't work out, she's out. So she can reset the duel. Like, she can reset the duel and come back and try to take the duel again. Ana can't do that. So again, why would you play Ana in the current state of the game? It takes longer to kill the bigger HP targets, especially like implying that they're not being healed. If they're being healed, you're screwed. Like, if that Genji comes onto you, or a Sombra comes onto you, or a Tracer comes onto you with a Zenyatta orb or a Mercy Pocket, good luck, man. It's over. Oh, and good luck dueling tanks with Ana. Like, seriously, the worst part is if a tank gets on Ana. Yeah, no, I agree, Kage. Trust me. I agree. I personally think Genji, from a hot take POV, I would say give his dash 60 dash, but that's a little bit unreasonable. I do like to be a little bit fair. So the way I see it is, just give him 28 DPS shurikens. Dude, Genji had 28 DPS shurikens for 95% of his Overwatch 1 life. And that was when all the heroes were at 200 HP, and he was still shit. So if now all the heroes are at 250 HP, why does he still have 27 damage shurikens? And healing is stronger. And the heal reduction went down to 15% and not 20. And he's the only one that doesn't even see high-level play. In any team, I don't know if you guys have been watching OWCS, any team that tries to force the Genji loses. They insta lose. They always lose. Because again, anything Genji does, Sombra, Tracer, Echo, and especially Venture, who is also a combo-heavy support. By the way, Venture has to play that same range that Genji has to for max value. And you know what the best part for Venture is? Again, filling that niche as Genji. Anything that Venture does within their combo, they actually get shield HP for it. So Venture goes up to 325 HP, and Genji gets absolutely nothing. Like, how? That's so silly. That's why I'm calling for Genji buffs, is he's not been accounted for the current state of the game at all. He's like a maximum B tier pick, but on average he's a C tier pick. That's the thing about him. He shouldn't be in a state like that. Where's that Moira guy from the comment section? Okay, let's go back to the comments and then I'm going to wrap up the stream, yeah? Because I do have a class I need to take. So remember, we were talking about this comment. This is a very silly comment. Respectfully, you completely missed the point that I was trying to make. Okay? I think you didn't understand what I was trying to say when I said that Season 8, the game was going back to Season 8. It's all about sustainability creep through the tanks getting button presses that gives them like HP steal, more HP, more HP, more HP. In Doom is really good. By the way, I know there's a very strong Doomfist community out there that likes to push the fact that Doom has been bad for majority of Overwatch 2, but Doom is very, very, very good right now. He is A tier. Like in the super high levels of play, it's a little bit different, but guys, majority of us are playing in the 90% side of the game. Doomfist in that side of the game is very good until they pick Orisa. And then it's a little bit of a skill matchup. But outside of that, Doomfist is very good right now. I'm going to keep it real. Like, I was advocating for Doomfist buffs, but like with everything Doom has gotten recently, he's a very, very good tank right now. A tier tank. A tier tank. Doomfist A tier tank right now. Let's read the rest of these comments, right? This is a ridiculous comment. Yeah, because they didn't understand my point. I think another thing is Venture can 3-shot people with primary fire, but it takes Genji 3 hits to kill a target result. Yeah, I know. Genji's in a horrible state right now. Ana is in need of buffs to her damage. I think someone like Bap is kind of bad. Yeah, Bap is okay right now. Bo's logic is that if you like Season 8 more, you can't complain about Season 8 make characters bad. But I never liked Season 8 though. Like, I didn't like Season 8 for the same reasons I don't like Season 10. Is we're constantly caving into sustainability creep. Like the devs come out and say that, oh, the healing and this is getting out of control. We want to put more agency in the damage roll. The damage roll proceeds to get some form of agency, whether it's the damage creep or the DPS passive. And then what happens? Less than 2 weeks later, they gutted the damage roll. And they're like, oh my god, damage roll actually became viable. People are having fun with the game. Hold on a minute here. Let's tune that back. And that's literally what happened again. That's literally what happened again. That's exactly what the developers did. That's literally what happened again. And that's what makes me upset is, why do we keep going in this direction? Why do we have one moment in time where DPS as a role can actually contribute and be viable in the game, and then 2 to 3 weeks later they just destroy it? Imagine if support could do that. All 3 tanks of the month counters do. I mean, if you understand how to play like the maps really well, you can 100% play Doom. So I say this because like I'm playing Doomfist a lot these seasons, and against Hog and Mauga I don't struggle that much, but Orisa I can agree. Like if you run into a really good Orisa, it can be a bit of a nightmare. October 2020, yeah, October 2020, and then season 9 for the first 2 weeks. That was it, and then it's basically GG's beyond that point. Guys, I also think like I'm a little bit behind comments and everything, so just excuse me for that. So let's go and read the rest, right? So it was like, yeah, I always find it funny how the same people who want more mobility heroes to be meta, so the game's more fast-paced and fun, are always mad when Ana isn't meta. Okay, first of all, I do not recall ever saying something like this, because what I want for the game is extremely different. So this is like Sandler, this is like, I don't know where you get this from. And even if I did speak about quote-unquote mobility heroes, I 100% didn't view it from the mobility perspective. That I can guarantee you. Because I don't like mobility creep. Because mobility creep is the most rampant in support. It's like a new support cannot have weaknesses. As we saw with the Life Fever stuff. I don't know if he's going to watch this or not, but I will link it to him. So, when Ana is in meta, and it's like Ana is going to struggle in any meta where dive is strong. But this is wrong. Ana has thrived in the metas where dive is strong because she can sit back and do whatever. I don't even know if we're playing the same game anymore. Ana has been strong in dive metas because she doesn't need to commit to the dive. She can sit back, relax, take a good angle, and help dive across the map by sniping and throwing nades. Right? So this comment is also really, really strange, but unless it's coordinated play. Yeah, okay, well, I can make Ana work at a GM level without having to do that. Like, it doesn't have to be coordinated play. It's just called being good at the character and being rewarded for being good at the character. I don't know what else to tell you. But Ana's always going to suck when the game becomes more fast-paced. Okay, Overwatch 1, Season 2, Beyblade meta, Ana was good. Overwatch Season 3, when we had the triple tank meta and the game was really fast because Lucio plus Ana, and Ana was still really good. You see what I'm saying here? It's not about the fast pace, it's about breakpoint interaction. I'm also tired of people acting like Ana is actually a good designer. Here we go. This is where things get really funny. She's a sniper who has a sleep dart. She's basically Widow, but she supports. Both are skillful but boring and promote boring gameplay. I genuinely like... Oh my god, Sandler. I'm sorry, but like, we're just talking about the game, so none of this is personal, right? I think it is very, very absurd to say something like, you acknowledge that both heroes are skillful, but people find entertainment in being rewarded for something and being good at something, then again, respectfully, a character playing the game for you. Again, respectfully, really, like, this is not personal. My chat knows me. A lot of people here know that I'm like this is just from a gameplay POV, and you have your opinion, I have my opinion. And this person's like, Moira makes the game feel faster, thus it's funner. So let's just let Ana suck for season 2. But Moira's gameplay style has nothing to do with why Ana is bad. Moira is a winner in the new game state because she likes the bigger HP boost because it allows her to build coalescence very quickly. She likes the DPS passive because it allows her sustained damage to be very good. And that's why Moira is one of the best supports in the game right now. So trying to compare the two and talk about their skill and all this is pointless because, like, I already said that. First of all, like, I like Moira, but I don't think she should be as strong as she was before, and they did tone her down a little bit. I think she needs a little bit more on the coalescence side of things. But outside of that, I'm chill with Moira. And from the Ana POV, I only spoke about Ana in this video, and all I said was allow Ana's left click to do 5 to 10 to 15 healing and damage more. It doesn't have to be absurd. It's not going to render Moira and everybody else useless. It'll just allow Ana to be a healthy pick, because you acknowledge it yourself that it's a skillful hero. Okay, now Kamiya basically roasted Sandler. It was a hilarious roast. So I'm not going to lie. This was a hilarious roast. This one's, I'm not gonna lie, this one's a really funny roast. Just say you want to play branded heroes who can 1v1 without losing most of the time and get away scot-free. I didn't say this shit. Nobody come at me. I didn't say any of this. I was very respectful. I didn't call him brain dead. Okay. So Sandler's like, Moira's 1v1 capabilities were nerfed and said, I'm sorry, what? Guys, guys, Moira's capabilities were nerfed in season 9. She was the best support for the first 2 weeks. And since she's been an S tier support since, everybody's tier list has Moira as one of the top supports. What? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I respect the opinion, but it does come off as a shock, okay? I'm gonna just say it like that. It does come off like as a little bit of a shock. Guys, come on, don't say mean things in the chat. But it is so Sandler, with all due respect, I don't know if you're gonna watch the stream or not. But it is really disingenuous to say something like Moira's 1v1's capabilities were nerfed in season 9 when she was by far the best support throughout the entirety of season 9, and even right now she's one of the best supports to play. She's not exited S tier at all. I don't know what to tell you beyond that. Everybody rates Moira high. And you saying something like they just got to buff the DPS passive back to 20 or make it 15 or 10 for tank, I agree with that because I already suggested that myself. But so you go on to say something like, you are sure, you are for sure in a Tinder Watch Reddit post? What is Tinder Watch? Do I even want to know what that is? I'm kind of scared now. That makes what Moira makes. Guys, come on. Stupid cat. Come on now. So he says, but Moira feels fair to fight right now, but before season 9 I hated her, but now her self-heal is only strong against tanks who already effed her up, and supports who have the same capabilities, often with higher burst than her. So it was only DPS now that her self-healing down by 50% landing shots is much easier for everyone, which directly targeted the aim gap shaded for high DPS, like cast players never miss now, which feels easier to play, which honestly feels easier to do that play than Moira. What? What? Okay, you know what? I respect that. That's your opinion. I'm gonna not comment on that part. I have a lot to say about that part, but I'm gonna not comment on it. So you're going to say, but Moira fits the meta. She's fast and nimble, and her burst heal makes her pretty good at healing right now, which have nothing to do with her ability to duel you, bro. So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight before I go on. Now this is where things get silly. Okay? Moira is fast and nimble, and her burst heal makes her good. But that has nothing to do with her ability to duel. Do you understand how ridiculous of a statement that is? So you literally just described why Moira is good at dueling others. That she can burst heal herself, she can burst heal others, she's fast and nimble, she can escape, she has one of the best mobility in support, she fades out of existence, she can cleanse herself, she has a self-heal through the suck that she does, that requires very minimal aim, and the tether for it got buffed. They buffed the thing. Wait, what just happened? What was that noise? What was that noise? Guys, I'm getting anxious. What was that noise? I'm scared as all hell. I don't know what that noise was. I've never heard it before. Oh, I get it now. Okay, wait, hold on. It's Steam. Let me just leave that real quick. Okay, so it's extremely silly to say something like, you literally just described why she's good. And that's quite literally the counter argument why I said that Ana is bad. Ana's not fast and nimble. Ana doesn't have the burst heals to keep up with the DPS passive and all that type of stuff. Because you yourself said that the DPS passive is making it harder for Moira to heal people. But again, that's not the point. So you go on to say that just learn to use your massive bullets to hit her. Hey guys, you'll learn how to use your massive bullets. Because I would honestly say Moira isn't the most brain dead hero. Since if auto aim immediately meant someone isn't skilled with, then Whistler would be the easy. I love how I predicted this, by the way. Guys, I love how I predicted this, by the way, that they would make an argument like this. But luckily we play Overwatch where aim isn't all that matters. Now that's even more true. Y'all reading this, right? Y'all reading this. Y'all reading this. That's exactly. I got it wrong. Sorry, it was my coffee machine going. Cubic cat is in my walls. I'm scared. Reddit users hate you? I mean, Reddit users can hate me, dude. It's fine. I didn't even realize I was that popular right now. Like, dude, I barely got 5K subs. What are people on about? Is that even a thing? If I search that up, is that even a thing? Because now I'm kind of scared. Hold on, guys. One sec. Oh, you guys were just making like a general joke. I don't think Tinder Watch is a thing. You know what? That's beyond me. Let me bring the screen back. So moving on. So Kamiya again replies by saying with a 6-second get out of jail free card and her damage orb. Wait, what? My God. My nose, sorry, I'm a little bit sick, but with a 6-second get out of jail free card and her damage orb makes up for the nerfs, she can also super jump onto roofs, flank effortlessly while just backing up and doing damage from 10 meters away, and then uses her 6-second dash better Genji dash to escape. Sanders like, you described her kit in a negative way. Oh my God. You described her kit in a negative way. Kid, I'm dying. I just choked on my water. I can't. I'm sorry. That's the funniest thing I've ever read in my life. That's so funny. Moira's not auto-aim. It's a beam hitbox like Zarya's is the hitbox and making the wizard looks like auto-aim. I mean, I've seen the video that talks about that. But if I'm not mistaken, Blizzard did change the way Moira's tether beam works quietly. It's one of those things that they change up in the patch notes and nobody gets to know about it. Like, for example, if you guys didn't know, Deflect actually got a nerf in Overwatch 2. And I was so surprised that a lot of content creators for Genji didn't talk about it. And if I get one more person, like when Playmaker comes online, I'll showcase the Deflect nerf that like legitimately nobody talks about. And number 2, Reaper also got a really, really big Death Blossom buff that I don't know if it was recorded or not. But basically, before in Overwatch 1, when Reaper would Death Blossom, and again, this wasn't mentioned in the patch notes unless I missed something. The cone that Reaper had, the range of where it could shoot and how many like damage output it did, all of that got nerfed. Like, they made it so that it was more inconsistent and slower to kill with Reaper's ultimate. And that for me is another stealth nerf that, my God, really hurt Reaper. It's another thing that really, really hurt Reaper. I don't know if anybody like has felt it, but these are 2 nerfs, stealth nerfs that I do know about. that they did change the way they interact in the game without telling anybody. Anyways, so he says you can do the same with Monkey, and on paper, Monkey even seems worse. I mean, his escapes are on like a 4-second cooldown. It's 5 seconds though. It's 5 seconds, and in 5 seconds you can be bursted down for being a giant ball that everybody can shoot easily though. Range of Blossom feels live, like people just walk out of it? Yeah. Yeah. Hi, in a day of glory. Do you think Blizzard has done these bad decisions on purpose? I think they made a bunch of changes in the alpha that we don't know about. I think they made a bunch of changes in the alpha that we do not know about. Because, okay, I don't know if I can, like, obviously I cannot replicate it, but maybe you guys have felt it, right? Basically, it's particularly two interactions, and this is where I feel it on Genji the most, is, for example, if you were, let me just turn this off, if Cassidy used his ultimate, right? If Cassidy used his ult, before in Overwatch 1, the way the interaction works is no matter where Genji is, as long as you bring deflect up, the deflect takes immediate priority for some strange reason. Like, I don't know why this was the case, but apparently it was a thing that, like, at least I knew because I felt it a lot, is deflect always took priority in Cassidy's Deadeye. And, like, even if Cassidy locked onto these two people first, if I was up here and he locked on to be, like, the last and then I deflected, he wouldn't shoot, like, he would shoot the deflect and instantly kill himself. But the way that the interaction has now changed, again, this is something they did quietly, because I think I now understand how the new Deadeye works, is the way Deadeye works is depending on who you lock on to first. Let's say if you lock on to this guy, then this guy, then me up there, the shots will go 1, 2, 3, and then up, like by this point, if I'm up here and I'm deflecting, the Deadeye deflect has a chance to miss, because the way it works is the game thinks that you're doing a normal Cassidy shot. So sometimes when you do deflect like that, like, okay, these two die and I deflected, he only takes the initial 80 damage. He only takes the initial 80 damage. It is such a niche interaction, but holy shit does it screw you in team fights a lot. Like now, if a Cassidy deflects, you have to do this. You have to get up in his face and quickly do that. You didn't have to do that before. I have old footage from Overwatch 1 that I could bring up and do a comparison. And I planned on talking about it when I could replicate it with Playmaker. Because it is such an insane nerf to deflect. It is such an insane nerf to deflect. He talks like you cannot see where monkeys jump. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Monkey is also a giant ball that everybody can shoot. And he front lines. The deflecting Death Blossom nerf is insane. Yes! Yes, Psionic, you feel it too, right? You feel it too. But and that's where I felt that Reaper's Death Blossom got nerfed. That's how they nerfed the Reaper's Death Blossom. So basically what I think they did for Reaper's Death Blossom is before the cone was tight, so the damage was like really like, you know, if you were like in people, you could easily do the damage. They made the cone bigger. So for example, okay, this is gonna be hard, but like guys, try to bear with me, right? Look at my reticle in this green circle, right? Look at this green circle. This is how tight the cone was before in the way it dealt damage, so it was consistent. But now the spread of it is this big. It's like Roadhog, oh sorry. It's like this big now. Like you see the circle and the way this reticle is opened up, now the damage spreads out more. Now the damage spreads out more. So it's a huge nerf to the way Death Blossom works. Because the damage is spreading out more, the shotgun damage is inconsistent. And you feel that when you play Genji, like when you try to deflect Death Blossom, before you could get an insta-kill on Reaper on the first second of Death Blossom. Now it takes you about 2 seconds to kill Reaper in that Death Blossom, and you have to track the Reaper with deflect. That stealth nerf was insane. And that stealth nerf was not only insane to deflect, it was also insane to Reaper. The fact that they did that. Absolutely crazy. I wrote this in season 10. I think it was short. Dude, I felt it in the beta. I felt it in the beta. When I was playing the beta, I don't know if Psionic, you were with the channel or not that time, but I did call it out on a live stream where I was like, I remember I told Playmaker Bilal, I was like, Bilal, like, is it me, or did they change something about Deflect or Reaper's Death Blossom? And that's why it's really bad. Oh yeah, I missed the Cassidy Ultimate Kiriko, WTF, I didn't have any idea of that. Yeah, so I do believe Cassidy's Ultimate got a change where the way it works now is, rather than it being instantaneous fire, it's like a 1, 2, 3 shot over time that happens really quickly. And that allows for even some targets to escape the Deadeye. So they stealth nerfed Cassidy's ult and they stealth nerfed Reaper's ult, and they thought nobody would notice. And you know what the sad and funny thing is? Nobody outside of our little community actually noticed that. Well, I noticed it because I felt it. I've been playing this game religiously for years across a variety of accounts. But I did feel that on Reaper and on Cass and on Genji, on the way that their interactions work with each other, because you feel it on Genji's Deflect the most, because it's just like it's just something like, you know, you feel when you play, you're like, wait a minute, like this doesn't feel like the way it used to feel. You know, like for the past 6 years, you could feel it. I deflected that Blossom a lot of times and wondered if that thing was even deflecting anything back at the Reaper. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You have to track Reaper's ultimate now. It's crazy. Because the spread, they increased the spread on it. By the way, those ults were already the worst ults in the game. Yeah, exactly. They made the worst ults in the game even worse. Normally, Keiko's with my PV and miss. Well, I don't know about that. Like, I would have to see that in the replay view to assess what happened there. But I do know that those two changes are changes that they put in the game. And I like, let me think. Like, I do know there was like another stealth thing I noticed that a lot of people didn't talk about. I forgot which character it was, but there was one more change that not enough people are talking about. I cannot remember for the life of me. It was either something on Ana, because if I'm not mistaken, they changed the way Ana's projectile works when it exits the gun. Because, dude, I had muscle memory down on Ana's gun. In Overwatch 2, it felt weird. I don't know if it's just me or not, but something about her projectile felt a little bit off. I've gotten used to the new projectile and the way it works, but there was a part of me that was like, it's either I'm having a placebo effect because there's, you know, like a new animation, like there's like a little injection that you can see come out now. Before it was like barely visible. Now you actually see like a glowing yellow dart fire out. So I don't know if it's something like that, but I did notice that as a change too, that it felt weird. Again, I don't know if you guys have felt it, but at least I felt it when I was like in the beta and transitioning between playing on the Overwatch 1 client and playing the Overwatch 2 client. It was something that I felt playing Ana at least. It's like, well, something feels a little bit off about Ana too. Rewatch, it feels inconsistent since Overwatch 1 from Reaper's point of view. I mean, the ult being inconsistent is a different thing. The way the ult functions now is something that they just never informed anybody about. That, oh yeah, by the way, like, we did this to Reaper's kit. Because I believe they would just receive flack for it. And they were just like, yeah, let's just like not tell people about it. Because who's gonna notice? Well, surprise, I noticed. Because it really screws over the interactions with Deflect. Because you feel it in Deflect. Okay, I'm gonna cover up like the last bit of like ridiculous comments from that video. Give me a second. We got the people complaining about Orisa. I agree. Remove Orisa. I'm gonna show the screen in just a second, guys. One moment. So there's a comment that's like, my heart is filled with disappointment that I have to 4-tap an enemy to kill them and shoot my ally 6 times to fully heal them. You got like, you know, those type of Mario players that are like, Ana should be deleted, not buffed. It's like, okay, dude. Again, it's like, man, people like don't even watch the video. Like, this comment is like, this character sucks to play as and against. That's your problem. And they're like, anti-heal is one of the worst mechanics in the game. Never in that video did I ever say, let's buff anti-heal. Again, if anybody follows this channel and seen all my videos on support, I've been the biggest advocate for removing anti-heal and immediately putting in heal reduction. And it seems like they're already going to do that because they're testing it in Mirror Watch. I mean, deflecting Blossom feels inconsistent. Oh, you mean it from that POV? Oh, I don't know. Like, in Overwatch 1, I felt like it was decent. But in Overwatch 2, it feels much worse. At least in my opinion, my experience and where I play, I was like, yeah, it's no big deal. But now it feels really bad. The season 9 changes were a mistake. I don't know about that. All right, let's go back to the comments. So somebody was like, hold on a minute, guys. My thing is being weird. I get a big upset by how easy Ana can win a duel at close range with shot nade, shot melee.
No wonder I can't retire.
Oh, that's a bot.
I am unbreakable.
It's just an inconsistent combo, though. Her previous combo was much better. This one is a little bit more inconsistent. Alright, regardless, let's read this comment over here. But you want to buff the hero with anti-heal, so anti-heal will again be in 100% matches. Okay. Like, here's the thing, though. What people don't get is you can buff a part of Ana's kit that shouldn't be bad, while at the same time nerfing the other part of the kit. In the same video, I said that we can reduce the power in nade. I said it in that video that I don't like, especially when the changes first came out. I said that, guys, why does nade do 100 damage? Like, I agree that nade is the worst part about Ana. Like, we're on the same page when it comes to that. That's why that comment section particularly made me really upset, because a lot of people were like, oh, I am a faithful viewer of yours. And it's the first time I see you in the comment section. I've never seen a lot of people. Of course, a bunch of people over here, I recognize a lot of people. But there was a lot of people that were like, you want to buff nade, don't you? And I'm like, I spent the entire 10 minutes talking about the weapon. I spent 10 minutes talking about the weapon. And people are sitting there like, yeah, but anti sucks, anti sucks. I've been saying anti sucks for the past year, dude. We're on the same page. For that, we're on the same page. If I go to my channel, okay, and I go videos, and when I covered the support problem a year ago, for those people that are like, oh, I'm a loyal viewer, I'm a loyal viewer. If you're a loyal viewer, you would have seen that back here, all the way back here, right? All the way back here is when, again, 7 months ago, is when I was ranting about Ana's nade being an ability that needs to go. Right? Video name is buff Ana. Yeah, okay, so the point of any title is still like for you to watch the video and understand that I never wanted to put power in the nade. Now that is for those people to take away with their own own common sense, right? Like I talked about the support problem over here. I talked about the support problem in a shit ton of videos, by the way. Like that's the thing I milked the most, right? Is about support things that need to be reworked. I talked about it like somewhere from months ago. I talked about it in the poor state of balance. I talked about worst supports every week. I talked about it in here. I talk about that a lot. I talk about devs. This is the one. I dedicated an entire video talking about how the devs are wrong about Ana. It's in here where I talk about Ana's nade strength. Nade issue with Ana. Look at this. Like, I talk about it right here. Hold on, guys. Is everything working? Wait 1 minute. The Overwatch 2 team is wrong in the way that they want to approach the anti-nade issue with Ana, and they've been showcasing problems like this for a lot of abilities within the game, and that's something that I kind of wanted to talk about right away. It's right here. I've talked about this on this channel for a while. So why would I come out and now preach the opposite? Again, if we watch this video, the video that I just did, where in this video did I ever say buff the nade? If you see that, oh, this support needs a buff desperately, well, let me hear him out and hear what he wants to buff. So what did I say that needs to be buffed? Quite a bit, simply because of the fact that because the HP pools got bigger and her whole thing was to two-tap people, she was struggling quite a bit to actually, function as a support, and it certainly didn't help that her healing is a little bit more on the lower side and it's impacted more by the bigger HP pools and the DPS passive. Then on the flip side of things, you have a character like Moira who's flourishing now more than ever because the way her playstyle works and the way the game currently functions, she still has really high healing output, a very powerful ultimate that charges very quickly, good damage output, is able to follow up on the DPS passive that's applied by the DPS really well. She's mobile, she can stay alive, she's has a good hitbox as well that is, um good to AD strafe with if you know what you're doing. So again, like this is kind of the weird world that we are in, where some of the supports that take a little bit more skill, like Iliari and Ana, kind of lost more power in this current state of the game, and then characters like Moira and the current moment, the current iteration of Lifeweaver, definitely are a lot more stronger than the characters that take more skill. Kiriko remains largely the same. She transitioned into all of this pretty well as well. So that's all I have to say about that. So Anna's biggest problem right now is the game is kind of all about speed, and she struggles to kind of keep up with everything that's going on. It certainly doesn't help that some of the best supports in the game right now are Lucio and Moira, and because of their ability to quickly dive onto a target alongside dive comms centering around either Winston or Doomfist, or even a Wrecking Ball now that he's somewhat a little bit better than before, you have like DPSs like Tracer and Sombra just isolating the backline and completely eradicating Ana from existence because she just cannot respond. And it's very, very depressing. In fact, especially when it comes down to Ana's ability to duel targets, this is ridiculous. Even though I'm going to show you guys a clip right now. Look at this clip right now. I'm going to slow it down. Even though I win this duel, look at how many shots it takes me to really damage this venture and then secure a kill. It's ridiculous. I think I had to land about 4 to 5 different shots and then the anti-nade to even confirm a kill. Now, this is just one instance. I've been running into this in different duels as well, against Genjis, against tanks that, like, honestly, if a tank basically dives you, it just feels like GG if you don't have somebody else helping you out. Ana feels really, really helpless, and it's just not good. And whatever Ana can do right now, like, Ana's strength is that she brings the anti-nade, but the anti-nade is kind of pointless because of the bigger HP pools and people are not dying as fast as before. And then you flip that over to the other side, not to mention that a lot of the tanks got abilities that increase their health bar. So even if they get antied, usually anti-nade is very effective on tanks. The tanks just have these, but like, for example, if you anti Narissa and then she fortifies and gets the overhealth, if Ball gets an overhealth, this is where it just kind of becomes a little bit more difficult, to keep up with, everything that's going on. And that's kind of why Ana sucks right now. She also doesn't work that well against characters or compositions like Ursa over there. Again, she can just get run down really easily, and her strength has always been to be able to bring a lot of healing into the game with a good pick potential, and right now her pick potential has been hurt quite a bit, and her overall healing potential has been hurt quite a bit. Again, if you want more healing right now and survivability, Moira and Lifeweaver are very good characters to play. Lifeweaver has definitely gotten a bit of an overbuff in my opinion, and he's certainly gotten much stronger on this patch, and he's a pretty decently good support to have alongside another main healing support. It's ridiculous how good he is. Also, he can survive a lot of situations. It's really ridiculous. I'll talk about Lifeweaver in another video, but moving on. So when it comes down to, let's say you want more healing and survivability, let's take Moira in this case. All right, so we get the point, right? We get the point that I was making with the video. Where, what's it called? That my point with the video was never about, the nade. I said that yes, one of the reasons you pick Ana is the nade, but the nade becomes more pointless when the sustainability creep on tank abilities has gotten to a point where tanks can unironically ignore the anti on them. If you anti Rissa right now, so what? She presses Fortify or she eats it with her Javelin Spin. Diva can eat it, okay? Like, it matters on, like, the tanks that are garbage right now. Like, oh, if Ryan gets antied, I'd fine, whatever. If Ramatra gets antied, I'd fine, whatever, right? But the meta tanks right now, if they get antied, Roadhog still has a massive HP pool. He still has the damage reduction that he gets. Then you have Mauga, who, sure, it hurts him the most. Out of all the meta types right now, it 100% hurts Mauga the most. But because the anti-nade effect has been reduced overall, what is it? Did they reduce it on tanks specifically or something? I don't entirely remember. But Mauga's ability to sustain himself and keep himself up, if he can be smart with the way he uses the, what is this ability called? Cardiac arrest? Sorry, cardiac overdrive? I don't know why I keep calling it cardiac. But basically, like from that point on, he doesn't have to worry about the anti-nade anymore. He can ignore it because his HP pool is so big, damage as a roll doesn't do enough to burst him down to the point where Ana just sits there like, well, why am I even here? You know? In a lot of compositions that we've been playing, even in quick play, like Eevee doesn't even pick Ana. Eevee just thinks that if we play into the freaking Mauga, we go Zen. Because Zen's Discord is a guaranteed application that can stay over time, and Ana's nade fades, and Ana's more vulnerable. And again, like, Ana can only do one thing at once, but Zen can damage, heal, and keep Discord up all at one point. So Zen's more problematic in that sense than Ana's nade is. But that's exactly what I'm talking about, though, right? Can you link it? I don't have a Discord channel just yet. Like, I'm working on the Discord stuff, guys. Like, really, it's something that me, Eevee, and Playmaker want. We want a little bit more time for that type of stuff. But we don't have it. So another stuff, like, Ana, if it's okay if Ana becomes niche. High skill, high reward character is okay to become niche. So come back when the tank lineup changes. Let's stop buffing to force shifts. But here's the thing, though. Overwatch has gradually proven over time that they want to buff things to force a meta shift than to nerf things. Remove Orisa, I agree. People agree. Anybody who's playing Ana right now agrees that the hero is bad. Like, she's just bad. She doesn't keep up with everything. Now a change like, something like this, like after season 10, Moria's fine, she's balanced, but I don't like Kiriko. How's it fair that support can 2-headshot a target, get invincible and teleport? I believe Kiriko actually needs 3-headshot now, so don't know about this, but this is a reasonable take. Like, Moria's fine, I agree, Moria's fine. Moria's whatever right now. Ana's the one that needs help, right? This person, Technobuddy, goes on to say that Ana's been busted for ages. Power creep just made her more on par with the rest over time. But how is Ana on par with anybody else in the current state of the game? The DPS passive screwed her the most. Okay, the new HP pool screwed her the most. And at the moment, the meta screws her over the most. Yeah, of course it's not okay if a hero that is a great... Like, why do we want characters that are not high skill to be, like, the go-to characters? That's just... What is the point of learning Ana when you can just play Lifeweaver, Moira, Kiriko, who are fundamentally easier to play? Do you think you'll make any more videos on the state of Genji? I did. Hiko beat me by 1 day. I even included Hiko's point in my state of Genji video if you guys want to go watch it. I covered it over here. 2 weeks ago, Hiko beat me literally by a few hours. Because I left a comment on his video where I said I was going to talk about the exact same things on why Genji is bad. This video right here, I brought up Hiko's clips. Wait. Major credits to him. He didn't get upset about it or anything. So big shout outs to Hiko. But I talked about it over here where I was talking about a lot of the content creators or anybody that plays Genji realizes he's been net nerfed. Obviously, where I spoke about the fact that this is a net nerf. In recency, there was a video that was made by Necros where he also spoke about how basically Dragon Blade has been net nerfed, and now again another amazing Genji content creator by the name of Hiku made a video where he talked about that yes, Genji has been net nerfed and it just really sucks to play him and it feels like you cannot do anything with him unless you're riding off, the back of your teammates really either throwing as much resources into you as possible, or you are basically riding off of their success and you by yourself cannot do any playmaking. So that is the fundamental problem with Genji. Is he struggling in this new big HP pool environment? He is all about securing kills on low HP targets. However, he by himself... Yeah, so this over here, we talked about the problems with the Genji's breakpoints. We talked about what's a net nerf. So what a net nerf means is the character got a bunch of changes that look like they are meant to help the character, but in reality what has happened to the character is the overall playstyle of the character has been nerfed. Like what the character is meant to do and where their strength was has been nerfed. So in Genji's case, people thought that the blade changes were a big blade buff, but they are not a big buff. Like over time, it's been proven that the blade buff is... So let me tell you guys something. The worst change, this, I don't know if anybody else has felt this, but this is the worst change. Let me swap back to the game screen. So if you have Dragon Blade, this is the worst part. If they could change this, maybe Blade can be strong again. But this is the worst part right now, right? This is the worst part right now. Then I'll catch up on some comments. So the way Blade got a net nerf was the slash speeds are instantaneous, but the pullback speed after both slashes is slow. So after you do the first two slashes, the follow-up third slash is like the original slash speed because of the pullback animation that Genji does. That animation leaves you so vulnerable and allows targets to get healed. That's why Lifeweaver takes 4 slashes to kill, because after he takes the first 2 slashes, or even the first slash, you need to do 3 slashes to kill him. You need to do almost 4 slashes to kill his ass on season 9 or early season 9 and mid season 9 until he got his changes. So the way it works is, watch this, right? Blade comes out, 1, 2, instantaneous, big delay, like, do you see what I'm saying, right? You see, like, it wasn't like that before. Like a lot of the creators don't notice this because, you know, you overlook it. But the way Blade worked before was smooth, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It went like that, right? But now with the instantaneous slashes, with the speed, right? You get the first 2 slashes for free, then there's a bit of a delay, and then the cycle repeats itself. So it hurts the damage potential in a team fight when you're on targets that are being healed or have overhealth, because the way it looks like now is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then delay, like 0.5 delay, 0.5 delay, 0.5 delay. And trust me when I say this, it's so easy to out heal it now. It's so easy to out heal this. Like, this is a balloon. This is balloon. Okay, this little thing is a balloon now, and his shurikens are wet tissue papers. That's what it feels like fighting with this kit right now against everything else in the game. It feels like its shooting tank feels like a chore, and trying to duel anybody just makes it feel like, wow, I don't do enough damage, let me just get out of here. That's why I think a place to start is, look, like, when I suggest buffs, I don't want to instantaneously give something groundbreaking. I want to give something small and incremental over time, because it's a safer way to buff a character, because we don't want them to be crazy. Because if they make Genji crazy OP, they'll just make it even worse, like they did back in Overwatch 1 and then in Overwatch 2. So rather than doing that, my only suggestion for Genji is, if we wanted to take power away from Nanoblade and things like that, okay, that's perfectly fine, whatever, do what you want. Let his shurikens get the 28 DPS back. For the love of God, he had that for 90% of his Overwatch 1 life, and he was still shit. And the health pools are bigger now. If we could give other characters compensation buffs for the bigger health pools, we can certainly give Genji something. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Blade changes so ass. It gets out healed so crazily. And Blade's damage is still 110. He does less damage than most DPS characters. He has no combos, he has no nanoblade, he has nothing now. All it takes is one good cooldown. It forces you to slash dash, exactly thinking. Like, a lot of Genji players don't realize this. This was the first thing I complained about when I was playing with Eevee. I think you guys were there for the live stream. I was saying that Dragon Blade feels bad because it messes with muscle memory, and eventually I realized the reason it feels bad is because after the first 2 slashes, there's like, you fucking lag in place. Like, his cybernetics shut down, he gets crippled for a second, and then he like wakes back up. It's the worst thing ever. So like, what I would like is for them to just buff that part. Just buff that part. Okay, you know what? It's not gonna do anything because Blade's numbers are pathetic. But this like 1, 2, and then delay, dude, this hurts him so bad. It's crazy. Like, again, Overwatch is all about seconds and milliseconds and shit like that. That hurts Genji so bad, it's unreal. You guys don't understand how bad it hurts his DPS potential. Because the idea is, if you mess up even 1 slash, your blade is wasted. Immediately, you slash dash, oh, I missed one slash, I go back to my team. That's how bad it is from an interaction point of view. It's really, really bad. And people that are like, oh, Genji like doesn't feel strong, they don't realize that that particular animation problem is where the damage, like where he's lost the damage. I miss when the way to stop a blading Genji was to actually kill him. But nobody, exactly. So do you guys want to know something interesting about Genji? His hitbox slightly expands when he's blading because his arms raise up and he expands outwards, right? I don't know how to explain this, but like it is one thing that I've noticed that his hitbox does expand just a little bit. It's not like a crazy amount, but it does get a little bit bigger. It gets a little bit bigger, or maybe it looks like that visually, but I do firmly believe that he gets a little bit bigger because of the way the hitbox moves around. Because now, instead of him being like crouched like this and everything, he's being a lot more like up front and like, you know, upright. So naturally, the hitbox itself, the stuff we cannot see, stands out more like a sore thumb. So he becomes a little bit more easier to interact with. At least in my opinion, that's what I felt. Genji players don't buy skins, don't care about him. That's a bit, that's not true, because years ago, Jeff Kaplan revealed that by far the most popular characters in this game were Genji and Mercy, and then there was a significant drop in like, I guess you could say a tier, and then after that it was like the other another bunch of heroes. I think it was like Tracer, Widowmaker, Soldier 76. But I would definitely say now like the top 3 most popular heroes in Overwatch are by far Genji, Kiriko, and Mercy. Like those 3 for sure are in the top 3. I like in what order I don't know, but for sure Genji, Mercy, and Kiriko are at the top. And Genji still, like, even though they give him some shit skins, they still give him skins. 28 would make him good. 28 would allow him to feel better in dueling. It's the same reason why I want Ana's gun to get buffed up. Because, like, it's not good in the current environment. It's not been, like, the HP changes, the way the breakpoints work, it's not been accounted for. Like, these characters were made particularly to interact with 200 HP. But we don't have that anymore, though. What I do is just report everyone, every game I play. Oh, don't do that, John. Come on now. That's a little bit silly, John. Don't do that. What if you dash after your second slash? You still run into the same problem. Because it's the pullback animation that screws you over. That little lag still applies. A boop completely counters his ult. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dude, a boop was countering it back in Overwatch 1 too. Did you guys see the sideshow video about that funny thing where like the French Lucio players and the Korean Lucio players and the difference between them? The French Lucio players didn't understand how to use Lucio to counter Genji. In Overwatch 1, in Season 1, 2, 3 metas, the way you would counter Genji's blade is the Lucio would just boop Genji away. After the first dash, Lucio just boops him away and speeds his team out. No need to even use sound barrier. And again, that's just because the Koreans were actually learning the game and how to interact, then sit there and cry about it. There's a lot of people just sit there and cry about it rather than improving the game. I'm sorry, like this comment, I have to, like this thing, I will say a little bit like in a rude way, but more people just choose to cry than get better. I mean, what time zone are you? I mean, I don't want to give away too much personal info, but I live in Dubai. So it's 7 p.m. for me. And thanks for loving the videos, man. It's just today's comments just kind of really made me upset. Because on one side of the comment section, people are like making lies about me. And on another side of the comment section, I'm seeing a little bit absurd stuff. So I just wanted to address that. I mean, Koreans are the strongest breeds of gamer. Yeah, right. But like, why are they the strongest breeds of gamer, right? Because their mentality, the way they approach this stuff isn't about, oh, like, I'm going to cry about it. It's like, well, what can I do with this particular character to fight back? Now, for example, like, I was famously known in the Middle East server that if you play against Abby, your Graviton Surge is getting deflected. Really, I made a name for myself in the Middle East server. Like, whenever I turn on or turn off my firewall settings and I go into Middle East servers, I have people that have PTSD because it's a very small server. So everybody knows everybody. People were reporting me because they thought I was cheating. People were reporting me because they thought I cheated when it was genuine skill. Have you guys watched that video? Like, first of all, I'm really upset that that video never popped off. I was hoping that that video popped off because no other Genji content creator has ever done anything like that. No Genji content creator has ever done anything like that. And I do believe that's what made me special, is my insane game sense and shit like that when I was like taking rank very seriously, when I was in GM, when I was doing all this shit, when I did care about competitive, and then Blizzard progressively killed it off. I made a video called Genji Deflecting Grav for 15 minutes. This was my final video, final video I uploaded one day before Overwatch 1 went offline. And it was my big thank you. So we can watch it together. We can watch it together. Dude, I show you right now. This is why high skill characters are fun to play. Landing these 6 sleep darts, landing these insane grav deflects. This is what makes these games fun, man. And when you discourage things like that, that's when these games become less fun to play. You know, there's some audios that are muted because they had songs and shit, like they're on my hard drive. So yeah, this type of stuff, man. It's really fun. Some of them, you know, I'm not gonna lie, some of them, you know, your boy was smurfing to play with friends. You know how it is for us high rank players sometimes. But it is what it is. Let's check this out, guys.
With that being said, I genuinely hope you enjoy the clips.
This is like old school Abby.
See you in the next one.
It's like old Abby. Hold on a minute here, guys. Hold on, let's rewind this.
Thank you to Overwatch for giving me a great time with Overwatch 1, and I look forward to making more memories and more clips like this in Overwatch 2. With that being said, I genuinely hope you enjoy the clips. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
There's this Dragon Strike defense. It's like pointless, but we still did it. You know? There's a really sick clip in here. I don't know where it is, but I deflected a grab and my Hanzo followed up with a Dragon Strike. Dude, in my opinion, that clip needs to go into the Overwatch Hall of Fame. I don't know if I can find it somewhere, but it needs to be somewhere. Wait, hold on. Snipsy did a video about him getting banned. I might check it out. There's a clip somewhere. There's a clip somewhere in it. Oh, dude, look at this grab. Look at this. Look at this. I knew, dude, this is insane, guys. Watch this. So I dash mid-air. It's slow-mo. I pull the blade out, and I know Zari's gonna grab, because you know how the strats were back in the day, right? Look at this insane deflect. Oh my god. You know, sometimes I forget. Sometimes I really forget about the cool shit that you could do with Genji back in the day. But yeah, it just sucks now. There's so much shit counted. And this look at this instantaneous deflect. Instantaneous, what is this one? Blizzard deflect. Amazing clip on Rialto, if I'm not mistaken. It is Rialto. But I'm really trying to find that Hanzo clip. Man, that Hanzo clip went hard. It was on Watchmen Gibraltar. No, it was on King's Row, if I remember. I think it's this one. No, it's not this one. I really, for the life of me, do not know where that clip is. Unless it was a clip I got later. No, it wasn't my Overwatch 1 clip files. Ah, here it is. Look at this. I found it. Look at this. So I deflect the grav. Give it a second. Deflect the grav, and then I'm gonna swap my POV into Hanzo. Ooh, look at that. He dragon strikes into it. Dude, that is freaking awesome. Look at this. I'm gonna slow it down. Grav deflect here, and now the Hanzo, he realizes, and he throws his Dragon Strike. Dude, that is like lore accurate Hanzo Genji shenanigans, man. That is insane. That is one of the best clips ever. And then I think my final deflect. This was my last game I ever played in Overwatch 1 before the servers went down, and it was poetic because it was Hanamura. Hanamura is my favorite map, and we deflected a Dragon Strike to close out Overwatch 1. So you know I had to make a video like, look at this. We're over here, and a nice little deflect on the Dragon Strike, dash in, and everybody gets caught by it. How can you see clips like this and not think this is the coolest character ever made in a video game, man? Coolest character ever made in a video game. Let's go back to game here. So the coolest things you can do. He could drop to Diamond 4. That's all the proof you need. Genji's cooked. I mean, to be honest, I kind of think the rank stuff is also kind of crazy right now. It's insane how you predict the graphs. I want to know how you do so consistently. Okay, I'll teach you guys the trick, right? It's not always gonna be the same, but I will teach you guys the way it's done, right? Of course, by the way, you put yourself at a lot of risk trying to do this, right? But the pattern I've noticed on Zarya and Mei players is, well, Mei is more obvious, right? Like when Mei is playing much closer, let's say if your team is playing like here, right? And you and your tank, like Mei and her tank are fighting here, she's usually either going to do something like this. She's going to come up close, go into ice block to finish off getting the ult, come out and then use her ult. This type of deflect is more hard. Or what she does is she's very close and she's walking up, and as she's walking up, she's going to spam Q, right? So you see her walk up like this when she's close to your team. Your team is like in this area. So that's how you know that Mei's Blizzard is coming up. That's how you prepare for that. Zarya works the same way. The way Zarya works, some Zarya players don't do it like this. And sometimes if you give it away that you're looking for the deflect, they will respect it. Because I ran into a bunch of Zarya players that understood that, yeah, he wants to deflect it. The way it works is, like, let's say we're Genji and we are playing, how do I showcase this? If I'm playing here, right? And Zarya is like here, usually what happens is when Zaryas want to grab, they want to follow up on their own grab. So what they do is they walk up like this with their bubble and left click, right? So usually when you see a Zarya, it's also like predicting a Reinhardt Earthshatter is, oh, Reinhardt is walking up to me. I wonder what's about to happen, right? So that's the same logic you apply to Zarya, is if Zarya is walking up, bubble comes online, that's basically grab. Or, and this is again like a little bit like more higher like game sense and shit, like if Zarya is turning the corner and walking up, that's another grab that's coming up. You have to basically like just really track it in your head, and eventually you'll get the feeling, but like you're not always going to get it. Obviously those clips are the ones that worked out, but there's a bunch of areas where what like some Zaryas will do. Because look, honestly, I hate Playmaker for this. Yeah, Ali, he's my best friend, I love him to death, but that guy knows I can deflect the grab, okay? So this idiot, what he would do if I ran into him in quick play or ranked, all right, if we ran into each other, what this idiot would do is instead of aiming the grab at the floor, he'd throw it somewhere at a wall. It was so petty. It was so petty, and it would be like, you're the only Genji where I use this strat. Otherwise I would never do it. When we used to scrim with our friends and shit, he used to do that a lot. And that was just the downside of playing with him. When Abby was the starbender. I still do it. I still have a lot of grab deflect clips. I don't have enough to make a new compilation yet. I don't understand why Zarya players don't wait out deflect to shoot grab on the floor. So the thing is, deflect is kind of like it's like a wall. It's like a mini wall, right? It looks like a circle, but it's kind of like a wall. And if you crouch enough and you like do it like this, you can still get some deflects off. In that video, I do get some, like if you're doing it with Zarya, you have to like insta look down and grab here. But the problem with this type of grab with Zarya is it puts Zarya into a really exposed position, and it can, sometimes it can even mess up the grab. So it's not worth it to do it like this, because if you're looking down, it means you're reducing the distance the grab can go. So you have to put yourself into a vulnerable position. And let's say that like if I'm not the only one trying to deflect the grab, usually Playmaker played Diva back in the day, so he would eat the grab. So it was either I would deflect it or Playmaker eat it from behind. So it was like a trade of like, do I worry about Genji's deflect or do I worry about Diva's Matrix? So, I mean, that's when the POV that, you know, me and Playmaker were absolute monsters back then when we took the game a lot more seriously. But nowadays, it's a little bit different. You guys can go watch the video if you want. It's lots of fun clips in there. Lots of really fun clips in there. And I got another deflect compilation coming up. Don't worry about it. We got a lot of cool compilations maybe in the future. Why do you think recreating these moments in Overwatch 2 is more difficult now? I wouldn't say it's difficult. I've done it a bunch of times here and there, but I will say that it was more successful in Overwatch 1 because the Zarya had to worry more about other tanks than worry about you. And because usually not a lot of people have to worry about a Genji, because nobody does it, right? Like barely anybody does it. So when you don't have to worry about a character like Genji deflecting your ultimate, you just kind of yeet and hope for the best, right? But like, of course, in my server, people caught on, so they were like, "Oh well, shit, it's Abby. Like, he's gonna deflect your grab." Yeah, and yeah, it was hilarious. It was hilarious, but that mentality pretty much was there. That yeah, you're playing as Abby. Be careful with the grab, and I still got it off. But yeah, so now the thing about the current Overwatch 2 is because there's only one tank, it's easier for the Zarya to see and notice you going for that deflect. Because the way I would do it is I would let my tanks walk up, and as Zarya walked in and my tanks walked back, I'd walk up and use deflect. You can see that in the clips from before. Or for the more risky shit is you would notice Zarya walking up, and again, this is very risky. You dash in and immediately deflect. But again, like, you did it for the clip, Do it for the wine, do it for the clip. Don't do it because it's optimal. Hypothetically, you should probably play further away from the grab, pray to God your team survives, and then go in with Dragon Blade, But for the cool clips, it is easy. So yeah, so 5v5, it made it harder because it's easier for a Zarya to give attention to a Genji because there's only one tank that cannot necessarily pressure her well enough. And in Overwatch 1, you could use those two tanks for your advantage. You can still do it, It's just a little bit harder. But yeah, like, I love teaching the game, man. Like, this kind of what I want, right? Like, people, like, I feel like the fun in anything, whether it's education, games, or just life in general, is like, it's fun to learn things and then to execute it yourself and then progressively do it more over time. And that's where enjoyment comes in something. At least that's the way I view it, right? Like, why try to find an easy way out when, yeah, sure, like, if you like playing Moira, more power to you. I'm not saying, don't play Moira. But I'm saying, like, if somebody enjoys playing Ana, and Ana requires a lot more skill, thought process, because objectively she does. Like, let's not kid ourselves here, right? I'm going to be fair on when you're playing Moira, when you're playing Ana. Of course, you have to land these crazy sleep darts to stop something, and when you do, that adrenaline rush of, oh my god, I just landed the sleep dart that nobody will believe. This feeling is more fun than just something like, oh, Genji's blading, let me just move out the way and now finish him off, right? Like, compare those two things and you can identify which one is more fun, right? To do, right? Or, like, okay, I know we all hate the Suzu, right? But the one thing I can respect from Suzu, even though it's easy as shit to do, is those windows where, oh, a Diva Bomb comes in and you time this and you stop your team from dying. I ain't gonna lie, this shit is broken, but it's fun to pull that off, It's annoying as hell on the receiving end, don't get me wrong. It's annoying as hell, but it's that thrill of, I did it, Of course, this is easier to do. This is easier to do than land on a sleep dart, for sure, right? But it ain't Immortality Field's level of brain dead, so there's that too, So even Iliari, man, like Iliari, it's one of the reasons why I really like her is she just feels so satisfying to play. Like, outside of this little problematic ability, this little thing up here, the rest of her kit is really nice. It encourages you to be proactive, encourages you to be a bit more creative. And man, like, I really lost this clip and I hate myself for it, is I went underground on 3rd point King's Row. I ulted, appeared behind the enemy team and blew them all up. Dude, that was fun, man. Like, I don't understand why Overwatch doesn't get that type of gameplay where you can do more proactive things and be more creative with abilities is what is more fun for the game than pretty much just, oh, just turn your brain off and just do this. Like, just heal. Right? Like, this is more unfun. Like, on Lucio, what I like to do is, like, go behind the enemy team, boop the tank deeper into my front line, and then help burst that tank down. Like, that type of stuff is more fun, Like, why should we turn every character to, okay, react. This is boring, man. It makes the game slow, it makes the game boring. It doesn't embody what makes the game fun. It's why Tracer is, like, such a high skill ceiling hero, because everything about Tracer is about going in and bursting people down, one clipping people down, and that's where the fun comes in, right? So, you see what I mean, right? Like, that's where the fun in these characters come in. Coach Abby in the building? Dude, I do some coaching here and there. I like coaching the game and stuff. Even if you deflect the grab, now you can kill them. Yeah, you need follow-up. Like, you need, like, it really broke my heart. Like, 2 days ago, I deflected a grab, I think. And my team just walked away from it because they, they've never seen a Genji do that. I ain't gonna lie, that kind of hurt. In a way, you're like, I get it. Like, I didn't get upset by it, but at the same time, it did hurt, that they didn't follow up, because it's not like Genji can follow up. But yeah. Hi, Abby. Hi, get off Genji. Was just wondering, what's your thoughts on the current Brig? Some would argue she's perfect right now, because her abilities are, she's easily punished if she misses a bad position. But I think Brig is okay. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Like, really, Brig is okay. I just think right now it's not her meta. I don't know if she needs help or not, because she's very, very good in her particular situation where she comes alive. And she also has that window of, if people want to go by win rate, she has the highest win rate on support. By the way, I hate this thing where people are like, oh, the win rate, oh, the pick rate. None of that accurately represents what's actually happening in the game. I'm gonna keep it really real with you. When we did the Reinhardt video, I talked about this in the Reinhardt video too, where I said that a pick rate and a win rate should give you the general idea about how the hero feels, but it doesn't necessarily reflect the state of the hero. Like, for example, Brig at the moment on support has a win rate of 53.82%. On overbuff, compared to every other support, this is the highest win rate, but her pick rate is 1.4%. So what does this mean? It means that Brig, in her particular niche, is very good. But outside of that, she's kind of bad. She's not a generous support. So you kind of don't want to pick Brig everywhere. You kind of want to let her have her place in the game, try to make her work, but understand her limitations, and that's okay. Just like we have some niche DPS characters, we can also have some niche supports, right? Because we also have like niche tanks. So some characters sadly have to be that way because they're just either too broken by design and they have to be forced into niche scenarios, or they are just fundamentally flawed and they need rework. So like Symmetra needs to be reworked, right? That's what it's like. And the reward is worse because of healing creep and emos. Yeah, exactly. So deflecting, like, even though it's really cool to do things like that, you have to pray to God people follow up. Overwatch is really a beautiful game. That's why I love it, man. That's why, like, when they go down the decision that they are going down, that's, at least for me, that's what hurts me the most, is like, the more you feed into the people that don't want to learn the beauty of Overwatch, but they want, like, I want to play Overwatch, but I want Overwatch to play the game for me. Like, you guys get what I mean by that, right? Like, for example, if you're new to the game, Moira should be like a go-to support, or Mercy should be like a go-to support. Or if you're comfortable with aiming and stuff, like, you can definitely pick up like Ana or Bap, right? But the thing is, like, if somebody's completely new to the game, and they will play a different Overwatch, like, they're not going to play the Overwatch that we play, right? So what you do is you allow them to play the learning curve Overwatch. Like, hey, so Moira's like level 1, okay? And she's pretty good at the things that she does, but she doesn't necessarily excel at anything. But if you want to excel further and do more as a support, you should consider picking up a support like Ana, Bab, or Kiriko, because they do have skill ceilings in various different parts of their kit, right? Not everybody can, be very good with Kiriko's damage output, so there's a bit of a skill ceiling over there, right? Very few people are good with that. The same thing goes to Ana, where, there are very few people, and surprisingly very few people, that are good with either throwing the nade and landing the sleep dart, right? So again, that's a skill ceiling. When you get set out to be that player that can do that, it's a great feeling, because you're like, dude, I'm the one doing this. Same things like Genji, like lots of Genjis are bad at deflecting ultimates. Lots of, especially in Overwatch 2, lots of them are really bad. Granted that, Genji's kind of poo-poo. Doesn't help the scenario at all. So once you do get to do it, it's fun. It's like shit. Like, I'm doing something that nobody else could do. Same thing with Tracer. Tracer is like skill ceiling. There's a bunch of skill ceiling and everything, but lots of people are bad with sticking her pulse bomb. So once you get good at sticking pulse bomb, that should feel so satisfying. So I'm just like, if we can understand that this is the type of stuff that draws people into playing Overwatch, like that, I want to do all the big sticks. I want to do the big dragon blades. I want to get good at doing this, this, and this. Why do we insist on moving the game towards this idea that, no, we need these things in the game that stop it from happening? Oh, they're getting bladed? No, stop that big moment. Oh, this big, like, Junker Queen just did a big ult? No, stop that big moment. Or, oh, they just Earth-Shattered everybody? Okay, I dodged Earth-Shatter and I stopped that big moment. Why do we think that this is fun in the game? This is not fun or rewarding. This is like that player that executed it to perfection and should be rewarded for it. They get screwed over and now they want to play the game less. They find the role less fun. When people say things like, you know, tank is unfun, regardless of 6v6 or 5v5, the reason tank became more unfun was because the role was less about proactivity and more about reactivity. Okay, like in the Ryan Zarya matchup, like even near the end when me and Playmaker scrimmed a lot with our friends, the Ryan Zarya matchup became more and more about who can bait out Zarya's bubble the quickest rather than, okay, like which Reinhardt makes the first move. That is the direction where Overwatch began to fail. And that's still the direction that we're going down. So when I talk about Ana's buff going into the gun, it's about proactivity. When I talk about, you know, Genji getting power in the shurikens, it's about proactivity. We want the game to be about rewarding somebody for being proactive. And then it's fine. We can have some reactive characters, but we cannot let it get out of hand that the reactive abilities are so strong that they stop playmaking abilities. When you stop playmaking abilities, that's when people stop playing your game because they cannot playmake. Nobody, it's like cooking food, but then the food just gets burnt regardless of what you do. Nobody's gonna want to eat that. And Overwatch fundamentally does not understand this. It fundamentally does not understand this. Like, oh, people are enjoying Overwatch. I wonder why. Oh, anyways, let's just screw it. Like, guys, when Season 9 came out, we had people like KSI, we had people like Pokimane, we had people coming back and saying things like, Overwatch is fun to play. And you know why it was fun to play? Because proactivity. Proactivity and landing the first shot, being rewarded and following up on it was the name of the game for those first 2 weeks, for those first 3 weeks, I think. And right after that, because they can never help themselves and they never understand how they kill their game time and time again, they started progressively buffing the support role, they reduced power in the DPS role, and we are back to where we started. Where it just feels like shit to play any character where you have to be proactive. So everybody's just waiting for the support cooldowns to come out. After the support cooldowns come out, then you can go and play the game. It's so boring to play the game like that. And of course, people that were complaining about Ana's anti-nade, we agree on that topic that, yeah, anti-nade is a big problem. I agree. I fundamentally agree. I've been saying it for 6 months that anti-nade needs to go because it is one of those things that encourages tank not to be proactive. Oh, if I get hit by the anti-nade, the other guy just runs me down. You know? It is what it is. I don't think Brig needs buffs at all. It's not her meta, but if you're good at her, you can play her most always. Her kit is a nice flow. No one's needed. Yeah, Brig doesn't need it. Brig is very much like meta dependent. The meta, like, funny enough, even though the meta is dive, Brig doesn't necessarily fit in that well unless you play into Diva. This is something I want understood right now really quickly. The reason Brig does not fit in really well against Doom and Winston dives, or especially like if she's playing against Winston and Doom dive, is Doom kind of shits on her in the matchup. Server closed due to an unexpected error. I mean, I'm still in the lobby, but I think I'll get kicked in a second. We'll just leave it. We're just talking right now. But so the reason Brig is so good against Diva is Diva does not have, like, Diva's matchup against Brig is like it's a skill matchup, but it favors Brig a little bit more because Brig can farm the shift off of Diva really easily. But ever since they put in that mechanic where, first of all, this is the worst mechanic they put in the game, and I really disagree with it for a lot of reasons, but Winston ignoring armor is one of the worst things they put in the game, and it basically screwed over the way Brig could play against Winston, and now if you're playing against Winston, playing Brig into that can be a little bit suicidal. Unless they give her the shield bash back. And they shouldn't do that because that's power creep. And I'm scared that I do believe at some point we may see shield bash come back. I am a little bit scared about it. Because the argument is going to be that we mobility crap the game. Everybody has mobility, so it's okay if Brig has a bash. That is legitimately what I'm scared about. A lot of that is because of 5v5. The thing is, like, the problem was there in 6v6 too. Like, I'm not going to lie. The problem was there in 6v6 too, but it wasn't as bad because with the combined damage that came from the 6th player, there were instances where it was ignorable. You get what I mean? But when we lost that 6th player, that design philosophy is showcased much harder now. I really hope everybody understands what I'm talking about, you know, because I'm kind of tired, and yeah. So she's very good on control map, like short range maps. Yeah, she can work on a lot of maps as long as you play her in the right comp. Brig is a little bit more about being played in the right comp, and most importantly, having the right support. She can play really well with like Ana, Moira. I mean, you definitely do not play her with Lucio or Mercy. I mean, come on now, guys. Like, really, don't play Brig alongside those two. It's rough. It's really rough. I think that devs passive aggressively try to sabotage the game, like they legit hate the game secretly. Yeah, like the thing that sucks is they, even though they don't want to admit it, they care too much about the support experience. Okay, and everybody has their wild theories on why, like, oh, it's because supports buy the most skins, or oh, it's because it's the most played role, and whatever the case might be. But what they don't understand that, like, from a fundamental gameplay POV, the longer the game stays in the supports kind of get to control everything, the worse the game gets over time. Because it puts more pressure to support players to play the game even better. So if support players don't want that pressure, let tank and DPS take over. It's as simple as that. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie, tank isn't that bad this season. I'm gonna keep it real. Me, Playmaker, and a lot of people like in our little WhatsApp group, we've been talking about it. We're like, tank isn't really that bad, guys. It's, again, like, there's certain characters that are a little bit bad, but like Mauga is good, Queen is good, Doom is good, D.Va is good, Roadhog's good, Orisa is good, Zarya is always good, Wrecking Ball is pretty good, Winston is situational, and Sigma is pretty good. Ram and Ryan both need a little bit more help for the new state of the game, and it certainly doesn't help that Ram and Ryan fall apart before Orisa, Mauga, and Roadhog. So outside of like Ryan and Ram, majority of the tank is really not that bad. That's my opinion on it. I know this, like, tank has a lot of crybaby players, I'm not gonna lie. And this is why a lot of people in tank don't actually understand how to play tank as a role. A lot of people in tank don't actually understand how to play tank as a role. And I have no sympathy for those tank players. I'm sorry. The amount of people I see in quick play just AFK on car and think they're playing tank, just go play Fortnite at that point, bro. Just go play Fortnite. Go grab your guns, sit in a corner, camp, wait until the last game, come out, get the final kill, and think you did everything. I swear to God, when you get those tank players, it makes you want to rip your hair out. Go take space, deny angles, go put pressure, build your own. What are you doing here sitting on the payload? It's the worst when it's a brawl tank or a dive tank. The way they sit on the payload, dude, I just, like, you're playing a flanker and you're just like I'm Sombra, I'm in the backline, I'm like, well, where's my tank? Like, if he starts distracting them, I can do something. Brother is like AFK on car, drinking tea with Grandma Hana in the background. Like, okay, dude. It is what it is, I suppose. Overwatch 1 Bash is, yeah, exactly. So that's why I believe that Bash might come back. It's because CC has come back into the game too. Like, everything we changed about Overwatch 1 is slowly coming back anyway. Because it's almost like they realized that these things were there in the game for a reason. Tank feels bad mostly because of 5v5 just doesn't work well. I mean, they've giga buffed all the tanks to a point where they're all really not that bad. And you either counter pick or you just fundamentally understand how to play those tanks really well. Because a lot of the tanks right now, they can ignore matchups. Like, for example, Orisa does not care about who's in front of her. She will burst. Like, before Zarya was good into Orisa, but with the way Orisa works now, Zarya does not counter Orisa anymore. You have to take the Orisa mirror. You have to take the Orisa mirror. Zarya doesn't do enough damage to kill you, Orisa. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Zarya does nothing against current Orisa. Orisa is unreal. Mauga is also very good and Roadhog is also very good. If you play these three and even Doomfist, they're having a great time right now. You can play these 4 characters without a problem. D.Va is not that bad either. D.Va, you can play D.Va in most situations, but you need to know where her limits are and then swap and play something else. But like 80% of situations, D.Va is a great tank. Especially since hit scan is very strong. It's just like Doom is better for more aggression and D.Va is just better if you want to play slower. It depends on your team, like how they play. If your team is slower, play D.Va. If your team wants to play faster, play Doomfist. For the dive style. by the way. Let me catch up on all the comments and I'm going to call it, guys. I really need to go soon. So, so let me catch up on what everybody said. Do you feel Genji? So Yusuf, sorry about that. Do you feel Genji has any hard counters now as back in the day? I wouldn't say Genji has hard counters, but he has a lot of things that softly counter it. But they're all things that you can play against. But if you feel like you are being hard focused, there's a big difference in hard counter and hard focus. If you feel like they're putting too much resources into getting rid of you, yeah, then you got to swap it up. I can make him work against a Mei sim comp without a problem, with a Winston, blah, blah, all that garbage with Moira. I can make him work. I have no problem with it. Like, I know people get annoyed because those characters are much easier to play matchup-wise, but I wouldn't necessarily say they hard counter Genji. That, oh my god, they have Winston, I gotta swap it out. You don't need to do that. You can 100% play Genji, but you have to play around your team and less flanker. Like, you have to basically become like a budget hit scan. Playstyle wise, like you have to stay with the team and just do what they're doing, which sucks because it slows you down. But trust me, the enemy team does not expect that, and if they try to push you, they basically die because your team just secures free kills. So it's all about adjusting the playstyle, right? I can show you guys like later when I come back. We will do another stream later tonight. So when Evie comes home, I will do another stream. I just need to get some water, take a little bit of rest. I've been out the whole day, but yeah. No one wants to watch a 4-man shadow being denied by Suzo Tree of Life. No, I agree. Okay, but like, I'm not gonna lie though. If you Tree of Life in front of Ryan and Balkan Shadow, that is sick. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Evie did that a few nights ago, and I was screaming. That shit is sick. Okay, it sucks, but it's sick. It is a unique way to block Earth Shatter. It's not the most optimal way, but it is certainly. She was just kind of like, what if I do this? And I was like, yo, what the and then, now we got the Mirror Watch pass, so I lost the replay. Otherwise, I really wanted to show you guys the replay. Oh, so Evie's improved as a player, like insane. She's crazy now. She's been playing a lot of Zen as well. Her Zen is actually pretty decent. Abby, I don't remember. Oh, Stinky, let me catch up with the message. Abby, I don't remember, but were you the one that said if Anna and somebody support can shift the attention burst heal that anti-time to bring the anti faster? Huh? Oh, I never said anything like that. Well, let me read this comment again. Abby, I don't remember. Were you the one that said if Anna nades somebody, the supports can shift their attention, burst heal that anti-target to break the anti-faster? Excuse me. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. That was probably another creator. Maybe their idea on how to reduce the anti-effect faster. Although I'm not gonna lie, that does sound like a cool idea. Like if you meet a certain criteria of healing, you can remove the anti-effect. I think that would be a cool change. Like if you do instantaneously 200 HP, the anti-healing effect breaks. So that way, it there's a bit of a skill ceiling for other supports, which it won't really be that hard to do if you think about it, but it would remove the effect and it would allow other supports to respond. So again, interaction like that would actually be kind of healthy, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, even that is a really cool way. And I mean, people were saying that for the DPS passive, like keep it at 20%, but let the damage passive apply at a certain threshold that, oh, if you did about 200, 250 damage, then the passive triggers. Which I don't, like, I think that would be a better way to also balance the damage passive. A break specialist can find ways to get a value. I mean, I play a lot of breaks, so I love her. Like, I think in 5v5, like, she's really fun to play. She's a lot more challenging to play. And, like, you have to be, like, very active. You don't have to, like, AFK in the backline. In the backline and, like, turn your brain off. Now you actually have to, like, play with a little bit more thought process. Do we feel they just need to rework some support abilities? Yeah, Kage, of course. Like, I like support as a role. I've been playing support so much. I play so much Iliari, so much Ana, so much Mercy here and there, Zen, Kiri, Life Weaver. I play all of them, right? But I can understand when something is clearly out of control and we need to tone it down a bit, right? Because tank and DPS are not at that level of being out of control. Except for like one or, maybe a few outliers. If you escape the counter summonality, tank is restored. Exactly. Like if you spend less time crying about the tank rule and learn how to take better duels, you can 100% make your tank work. But again, this is the same thing that I was talking about earlier. People's attention span is not that, like, if you notice, like this TikTok brain that a lot of people have developed, it's less about, oh, I want to learn to get value, and more about, no, I want instant value. Like same thing with the content they consume on TikTok. It's like, oh, I want instant entertainment. I don't want to watch a video 10, 20 minutes long. I just want 8-second video. My brain's small. I need quick entertainment. I get it. I like, TikToks and instant things too, but we have to be a little bit reasonable when it comes to that, right? It's a little bit silly. Supports get to have an easy life in exchange for not dominating the lobby, simple trade. I mean, supports are dominating the lobby. Like, they passively dominate the lobby. In a way, right? Stingy says, I mean, if I'll never forget how they revealed that they removed Illari's management factor and made it easier for collection. Yup. I mean, did you see the way Illari could heal in their beta phases for her? She could throw like these sick projectiles and it would pass through people. Dude, that sounded cool than the little beam, symmetric beam that she has now. That I would have liked that. I mean, check out the last group of podcasts. They're talking about removing tank and make a whole new game this season. Dude, I love Avril. That dude throws out some wild takes, but that ain't the solution. They're never gonna do that. Don't worry about it. How can now ignore Orisa for EX? I don't know about that. Like, Orisa's matchup into Hog is absurdly good. This game does a terrible job of teaching fundamentals. Exactly. Exactly. And they never bother to do anything with the bazillion content creators that I'm sure would be more than happy to help. It's the thing I hate the most is there's so many good content creators. Even if they of course, they should pick your boy. You know, we're going to stroke the ego here a little bit. But outside of that, there's a lot of good content creators from Spyro, from like, man, I don't know if anybody knows him. I loved, he's my inspiration, but Coach Temporal. Coach Temporal was an underrated gem that the Overwatch community did not give enough credit to. He's my OG coach, man. Like, when I was back grinding Overwatch 1, I would talk a lot with Coach Temporal, like, on his comment sections and on his live streams. I loved the way he broke the game down. Like, he was amazing. If anybody knows Coach Temporal or doesn't know about Temporal, do check him out. He's a fantastic Overwatch coach. And again, he just didn't get the love he deserves, man. Guy was genuinely really, really good with his analysis of the game. And it's one of the reasons why I moved into like being a coach too, because I was like, dude, he's helped me and now I kind of want to do the same thing and help other people get better too. You know, it was really cool. I enjoyed the stream a lot. Abby, hope everybody's good today. Thank you, Stinky. Have a great day, man. TikTok's about to be banned and you say, yeah, I've been seeing that stuff. Okay, guys, I will call it for the stream over here. It was really nice. We addressed a lot of the standout silly comments. We might continue it later for a good laugh. So yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys later, maybe in about 2 hours. If you guys want to drop by, anybody that's here, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for all the support and love. I, again, hope that people understood what I was talking about when I said we are going back to Season 9 or, Season 8 and where the buffs of Ana need to be. It's insane how you can genuinely repeat yourself about, hey, this part needs to be buffed, and people will comment and say shit like, oh, so you want to buff this other thing. And it's like, where did I say that? Where did I say that? Yeah, but you never talk about anti-nade. I have like 700 videos talking about how much I hate anti-nade. It's crazy, guys. I'm sorry, like, no gameplay right now, but I promise when we come back in about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, definitely we're going to do some fun Overwatch stuff. We're going to try out some fun things. If you guys want to drop by, as always, drop by. I love your company, and I love you guys.